Hey y'all, thanks for tuning into the Nintendo Drive. If you're hanging out with us on YouTube, be sure to like the video, subscribe to our channel, and ring the bell icon so you never miss an episode. Or if you're getting cozy and listening to us on your podcast feed, make sure you're following and leaving us nice reviews. You can also support the show on Patreon and pick up some awesome merch. Links to those and more are in the description, but let's get the show started.
What's up, gamers? Hey, everybody. Good to see ya. We have an exciting, it's an exciting night, everybody. We're here a day earlier than we normally are on youtube.com/carpoolgaming as well as twitch.tv/carpoolgaming live. Gathered here tonight to talk about the Switch 2 Direct and probably a whole bunch of other unrelated things. It's Amanda's Christmas, you might
say. Santa's coming town.
Amanda ate well today. I've got Amanda here. I've got Locklith here, of course, and special guest, the Ryan Turford. Hi,
hey,
Ryan.
I'm back. I didn't do anything that made you guys not want me back, so I'm back. I'm also, dressed appropriately for the show tonight. I'm wearing my Metroid shirt for audio listeners. I'm wearing a Metroid hat. I bet y'all can't guess what game I was most excited from today.
I can only imagine, Ryan.
Could be anything.
It could be anything. Yeah, we have a lot to talk about today. Starthene in the chat says, prepared for a lengthy conversation. It will be a lengthy conversation. We have much to talk about tonight, so let me not dilly-dally too much, everybody. If y'all will allow it. Housekeeping. Got to give some smooches over here tonight before we get into things properly. First of all, huge thank you to Solo, who went over to the Patreon, patreon.com/carpoolgaming, joined us at the gold member tier. Thank you very much for that, Solo, joining at the only Austin Powers themed tier of the Patreon. We appreciate you for doing that, my friend. Speaking of Patreon, Garrett's episode of the Pants Patreon podcast for Patrons podcast is out now. You can hear Garrett issue some official doctor's prescriptions live over the airwaves.
I think he could get in trouble for you saying that, But
he definitely would.
But what you can hear is him giving his Mount Rushmore of video game doctors.
That's true. Yeah, as well as some excellent Zelda 2 background music, which made me happy when Garrett chose that. So, yes, that is out now on the Patreon. Mitch Power, the Mitch Power, is up next. So if you're over there on Patreon, submit some questions for Mitch to power your dreams on the Pants podcast this week. Speaking of Patreon as well, early access to the Mini Indie Van podcast is now on Patreon. New episode of that went live earlier today. So please listen to that. Give fully your feedback since it is in early access. And you can pop a 7-day free trial over there. Give that a listen. Quick note about Patreon. Just a little PSA. Apple has recently introduced an arbitrary 30% fee for Patreon users if you sign up via the iOS app. So if you do choose to support us on Patreon, we really appreciate you for doing that. But please do it on the desktop site so you don't have to pay 30% to Apple for no reason. So thanks for doing that. And we got merch, carpoolgaming.com, and you can give some merch to Twitch chat anytime we're live here on Twitch. So yeah, that's also very, very fun. Please do that. If you want to be generous to somebody in Twitch chat, you can do that. So that is what I've got for housekeeping. Everybody, again, we've got a lot to talk about tonight, but before we get in, we're going to pin the Direct for a little bit longer and talk a little bit about some video games. Ryan, you're a special guest. What have you been playing, my friend?
Oh, thank you, Seth. I appreciate you, letting me go first here. I've been playing a lot of this little device here. You may have heard of it called the Nintendo Switch handheld console. In fact, I've been playing a lot of old games on it because this is what happens when I can't buy games for the first 6 months of the year. I have to play a lot of old games. But I'm also playing a lot of games for the first time this year that are very short and I can go through them very quickly. So, as many people know, I was actually on a road trip last weekend for my birthday. I went to go visit my mom for my birthday. And I had my Switch with me. So, of course, what did I play on it? Nothing new. I played a bunch of Game Gear games because as you do, of course. I played a couple Sonic games. I played Sonic Triple Trouble on the
Let's
Game
go.
Gear for the first time. I also played Sonic 2 on the Game Gear for the first time, which is very different from Sonic 2 on the Genesis, because it's basically like the Master System version of Sonic 2. It's a completely different game. You have a hang glider. It controls really poorly. It's not a very good game. But more exciting games to talk about. I played Kirby's Adventure for the first time, Seth.
Nice.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because I've played a bunch of Kirby games before, and I'm on this like Kirby kick this year. Like I love. I'm getting more and more into the Kirby games.
Sean's thrilled.
And yes,
that.
he's already thrilled that we're talking about Kirby for so
I
long
am
in the
thrilled.
podcast.
I am
I'm
thrilled.
thrilled.
I can't freaking wait to talk about Kirby later, actually. But
Me either.
yeah, so Kirby's Adventure was a lot of fun. I felt the levels were a little uneven. Like I liked Nightmare in Dreamland, which was a remake of Kirby's Adventure on the Game Boy
Yep.
Advance, a lot more than kind of going back to the original for the first time, especially because I kind of played the remake first before playing the original. But I wanted to go back because it's one of those games on my NES bucket list that I haven't really played through for the first time. So I did that, but then I played another little game, a little role-playing game people may have heard of called Dragon Quest III HD 2D.
Okay.
I basically started it on, I think it was on Saturday, and I finished it on Monday. I plowed through it very
What?
quickly.
Holy
I
crap.
played through it. I played about 26 hours of it in 2 days.
Oh my God.
Because I couldn't put it down. I was so hooked on it. I don't know what it was. It was like
Hell yeah.
I was playing it in bed. I was playing it at my desk. I was playing it on my lunch break. Like I was playing it on my couch. Like I was so into this game.
Okay.
Just grinding levels. Going around taking out baddies, experiencing the interesting story. And I'm not a Dragon Quest person at all, Seth. Like I'm someone who famously did not like Dragon Quest 11 or Dragon Quest 8. Those are the only two real Dragon Quest games I've played.
Two of the most beloved Dragon Quest games.
Yeah, except for of course Dragon Quest 1, aka Dragon Warrior.
Dragon Warrior.
Because I had that thanks to my subscription to Nintendo Power, as you do.
Of course.
Because for folks that don't know, when you subscribed to Nintendo Power back in the day, they actually sent you a copy of Dragon Warrior for free in the mail for being a subscriber to Nintendo Power. But there was just something about this one. I can't put my finger on it. It was just so addictive and fun that I just had a blast with it. It also was really amazing seeing the Akira Toriyama art in HD2D, the HD2D style. Like it's a beautiful game.
It is.
And it kind of gives us a window as to into what it would be like to get a Chrono Trigger HD2D remake.
I'm holding out hope. I feel like they're gonna do that sooner rather than later. I think it's gonna happen.
I think so too. Maybe after they're done these Dragon Quest games, because we have Dragon Quest 1 and 2 coming out later this year, which I'm super stoked now to play because after playing this one, especially because the story kind of leaves off at a cliffhanger, kind of leading into those games. Even at the end is like Dragon Quest will return in Dragon Quest 1 and 2 HD remake, because I guess that ending they didn't announce that until after people had played the game and saw the final credits and saw that there. So
That's awesome.
that game was pretty fun. So those are the games I've been playing. Also, just a lot of Final Fantasy 14, but you don't need me to hear me talk about that as well.
Hell yeah.
There was a new patch this week, and there was a bunch of new content for that game, so I've been playing that.
Nice. I'm glad you liked it. I'm glad you liked a little bit of Kirby mixed in there, a little bit of Dragon Quest.
What's interesting, Seth, is I was actually gonna play, because I haven't played Kirby in the Forgotten Land yet. That was gonna be the next big game I play.
Now you're holding off.
But after today, I'm like, no, I gotta find something else to play. And also, I was like weighing the idea is this the time I finally open my copy of Tears of the Kingdom? And the answer is no. I'm
Gotta
gonna
hold off on that too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Well,
we'll talk
look-
about that later in the show after we unpin things.
We will. Yeah, we certainly will. But I mean, look, whenever you do decide to go ahead and do that, though, like you're in for a real treat. Switch 2 is gonna be loaded for you.
Yeah. I was going to say, we're going to talk about it over the course of the show, but there's lots here for Ryan Turford. You better believe it.
Hell
So maybe
yeah.
I'm thinking the next game I play actually is I'm going to probably borrow this from my friend, because I'm not allowed to buy games, Seth, but I'm allowed to borrow games from
Okay.
friends. So I'm thinking of borrowing, because a friend of mine has my copy of Astrobot right now, and she has a copy of Kirby Return to Dreamland, which I wanted to play.
Yes.
So I'm thinking of borrowing that and playing that next.
Great game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I played the demo
Great
and
game.
really enjoyed it, so I'm excited to play the full game.
Hell yeah. I love it. Okay. Good batch of games there, Ryan. Well, Locklith, what have you been
hi.
playing, my friend? Hi.
I was trying to think about what I've played.
Oh,
I'm with you.
And the first thing I thought of, Seth, was playing Reveal the Deep yesterday, and that was terrible.
You were not having a good time. I popped in like near the end of that stream, and you were not stoked about it.
If you want to see a sleepy, eepy Locklith who was partially grouchy because she was tired, more not partial, more very annoyed, annoyed, if you will. Go watch my stream from last night because I played Reveal the Deep on Steam on stream, and it's nothing against the game. I needed, yes, Pat, I needed a nap. I needed a map. I needed help. You know?
Yeah. You were
I
annoyed.
was,
when the hoodie went up, that's how you know it was real.
I wore it all night, Ryan.
Oh.
I wore that fit, that hood all night. I was going into it exhausted. And I was confused. I didn't know where I was going. I was lost. I got jump scared twice because it's technically slightly a spooky game / escape room-esque puzzle game. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I was locked in, but also not because I was tired. It was so bad. It was probably one of those streams that I'm like, man, yeah, I should have just not streamed, you know?
Yeah.
I've had those days. Yeah, I've definitely had those. Well, I mean, and what's funny is like this is 47 minutes into your stream.
Yeah.
You stream for about 2 hours, and I think I came in later than this, and this looks indistinguishable to me from what you were doing when I came in. So
Yeah, it's not a very expensive game. I don't know what the full price of this game was. It was a gift from somebody, Lola, in my community, of course. And I hadn't been able to play it because it needs keyboard and mouse, and there's like you have to have Java on your computer to play it too.
Java.
Yeah, I had
Java.
I had to download Java,
Good
Ryan.
It's a game from 2025. What the heck do you need Java for?
I had to download Java, Ryan. I don't know.
Next thing you're going to tell me that you required Adobe Flash to play this game.
Listen, I hit the play button on Steam and it said, click this link to download Java. And I was like, okay, I did that. Didn't work. I was getting frustrated. My stream was 30 minutes late starting, and then this is the Locklith that you get right here.
Amazing.
that face, man, it really does tell it all.
It was really bad.
Yeah.
It was really bad.
That's so
Oh,
funny.
man. But that's the only game I can think of in recent days that I've played because...
Did you wind up finishing it? Did you
No.
finish the game? You didn't?
No,
Okay.
I finished, there's 3 chapters. I finished chapter 1 and then a third of chapter 2. And it took me 2 hours to get to that point, Seth.
Oh my god.
Took me 2 hours.
Oh my god.
That's
It's
crazy.
the walkthrough that I looked up, by the way,
remember
live
you were
on
looking up a
stream
walkthrough.
because I got stuck, was an hour long.
Oh. Well,
That sounds miserable. I'm sorry.
Well, my mind was miserable going into it. Yeah, I was entertaining to others. Pat said it just made the stream that much better. So you're welcome.
there's that. I guess that's
Yeah.
good.
I'm glad that my pain and suffering brings joy. Lola was laughing at me. She said, I'm not going to help you. I was like, cool.
Great.
Thanks. Love
Yeah.
it.
Nice comms. Yeah. Love it.
Bullying the streamer. What else is new?
Yeah.
Was that
That's
it?
how they
Was
know
that
you-
really it?
What, that I played?
Like, yeah, that's all you played was just that?
That's a good question. I don't remember anything. Listen,
Fair enough.
just to give you all context, I was sleepy because today was day 3 at the new job
Yeah,
that
you
I
just
work
started
at.
a new job.
I
Yeah.
just started a new job. So everything in this brain, in this noggin, is brand new information, and it is overloaded with just stuff that I don't have any knowledge in. And so it is just filling to the brim with that, and I'm losing memories of my past probably every time more info is dumped into it. I may forget my name. my Govy name. I mean, it might be gone,
It's
Nobody
going to be like
calls
Back to the Future. At some point, you're going to look at a picture of yourself in your wallet, and you're going to like your arm will start disappearing. yeah, as you lose your memories of that time.
Yeah. I'm losing things. I'm losing it, Ryan. Just straight losing it.
That's what Pigeon Brain's all about.
Yep, my head empty, but it's not. It's full.
It's too full. It can't hold the capacity, the amount of information.
It's just a bunch of pigeons mushed together in there.
They're literally just sitting in a circle going, krr, krr, trying to figure it out,
Cooing in confusion in
They
there.
really are.
Yeah.
But no, other than Reveal the Deep, I think I talked about playing Penitence the other night. So I'm playing Animal Crossing still. Gonna be playing Repo on Friday, so that's fun.
Nice.
But that's it. I'm done.
Yeah.
Put a fork in me.
Well, it's just as well. I'm not doing much better than you. I've played a little bit of Xenoblade X, which we talked about with the Quaggy last week on the show, who was great, as he always is. Go back and listen to last week's show if you haven't already. Still enjoying it, having a good time with it. It's the perfect, here lately, my gaming time has been like, hey, I have 30 to 45 minutes, and it's great for that. It's good to just like turn on, and even if I don't do like an actual quest, I just run around and just collect shiny things for like 30 minutes. And you know what? I feel satisfied after that. I'm like, hell yeah, dude. And I go to bed. It's good enough for me.
I like how you just described my play style, and most times when I pop into Final Fantasy 14, Seth. That's the MMO lifestyle, is like hopping in for 30, 40 minutes, just running around doing some like basic tasks and then just shutting it off and doing something else.
It basically is it's a single player MMO, very much so. Xenoblade X.
It's one of the things I actually like that game, because I talked about it on other shows, but that is the one Xenoblade game I finished and actually really enjoyed on the Wii U.
Yeah, I'm liking it. Like I'm not, none of those are complaints whatsoever. Like I quite enjoy that about it.
Yeah.
Like it's good for me like to just, again, I jump on there, I run around and collect shiny things, I kill a few monsters, I say hell yeah, and I go to bed. That's it. That's what I do.
I say hell yeah, and I go to bed.
Yeah, it's like I feel pretty good about that, man. So that's what I do. I will say one of the things that Shadow dropped at the Direct last week was Rift of the Necrodancer, and I did pick that up. And I have been playing a little bit of that. Let me pull up a trailer for anybody who's not familiar with Rift of the Necrodancer.
I'm eager to hear what you have to say about this game, Seth, because I that's one of those games I saw in that Direct where I'm like, man, I wish I could buy games right now, because this game looks like really fun. Yeah,
it is. It's good. It is hard. Like I play a lot of rhythm games. This game is hard as hell. They like and right away, like it's like no training wheels at all. Like it starts off and it teaches you like the basic mechanics, and this is what you're seeing on screen there with like the kind of Guitar Hero Note Highway thing. That's like the main gameplay. There are mini games like this. There's some Rhythm Heaven-esque mini games in there, which are cool and fun. But the main gameplay is that kind of Guitar Hero Note Highway style, where you're hitting directional buttons when enemies are coming down the screen. The thing is, the game has probably like at least 20 different enemy types, and all of them have different little quirks to them that you have to memorize. So like those dragons there, you have to press and hold. Those yellow skeletons, you hit them once and then they'll run back to the enemies behind them, and you have to hit them again. And you have those little sword guys who charge and then dash forward like 3 notes ahead. And there's a lot going on. Like the learning curve is like steep. But I like it. Like the music is really good. It's all Danny Baranowski, who is known for the Crypt of the Necrodancer soundtrack. Also like Super Meat Boy and stuff like this. So all that stuff's really good. But it is hard. Like it is kind of kicking my butt. Like I had to like crank it down to easy until I like learn it, And normally I'm the guy, like I play a lot of rhythm games on hard, but not this. Like it is very difficult starting out. So, and then like those bats, you have to hit them multiple times and they change directions. It's like kind of crazy how much they throw at you, but it is good. Like I would recommend it, but just know what you're getting into. Like if you're gonna play this, like get ready for a serious challenge.
Or just expect to play on easy until you kind of learn the game and then go from there, I think.
Right. Like I definitely had to. Like it was the kind of thing where I came in, I'm like, okay, we're gonna start on normal, we're gonna kind of warm up. But no, by the end of the first like chapter of story mode, I was like, I cannot play this game even on normal. Like it's that hard. So it's tough. But yeah, it's good. Like I like it. Yes, Locklith.
The characters look cool.
Yeah, the art's great. The artwork's great. Characters are great. It's more actually, if anybody's played Crypt of the Necrodancer, it is more of a direct sequel to Crypt of the Necrodancer than I was expecting. Like a bunch of characters from that game pop back up. It is like an actual like kind of sequel to that game. So yeah, it's interesting. I like it. It's good. It's just hard. It's just hard as hell.
They got to build the lore, Seth. That's what they're doing there. Building the Necrodancer lore a little bit.
They do.
Across
That's
the
right.
games.
But that's literally it. I've been so busy, doing all this direct coverage and stuff. And, I've been very busy. So I've not had much time for video games. Amanda is AFK right now. I know that Amanda has been playing Spiritfarer, and I know that she's been playing. I know that last week she talked a little bit about how she was like on the fence about Xenoblade X. She was able to refund it, and she did get a digital refund for it and picked up Future Redeemed instead for Xenoblade 3. I do know that. So I don't know if she's started it yet. Whenever Amanda comes back, maybe we can circle back. But until that time. Shall we unpin? Oh, wait, no, here she is. Never mind.
Hello,
Okay, so
hi, I'm
cancel,
sorry. I
abort,
missed so
abort. Hi.
much. Hi, sorry. Sorry.
It's all good.
Apologies. Hello, hi.
Your timing is perfect, Amanda. I was just about to ask what you've been playing. I updated
Stunning.
everybody on your Xenoblade situation.
Thank you. Which I haven't actually started playing, so I don't really know why it's on my list, but it's fine. I might actually start it this weekend. But anywho, so unrelated to Nintendo, I've started playing League of Legends.
Oh,
So I've backtracked. Somebody
She's
asked
a
me.
league girl now.
Somebody asked me the other day at work. They're like, "Are you playing like Marvel Rivals?" I was like, "I'm playing League," and everyone's like, "What?" So
the reaction
there
is
I am.
justified.
yeah,
What?
it's interesting. There's hear me out. Everybody
listening.
is hot. Everybody is hot, and I
course they are.
can't.
You're not wrong.
Oh my God, the women in this game are so hot.
not
So
wrong.
we are very much so invested in trying to learn something new. I like that it's forcing me to try whole different battle mechanics. I'm like having to do mouse and keyboard, learning about power-ups, learning that I suck at it, but it's okay. So we're playing League. Weird. But it's also a thing my community is getting into. So I was like, you know what? Another opportunity to play games with friends. So it's fun. Yeah. Clayton says in the chat, everyone is hot. It's a great reason to play a game. Thank you.
It is.
Yes, 100%. Still playing Fortnite. And then we're on this Spiritfarer journey. But I was actually talking to Jan32 about this. I don't know how I feel. I'm like kind of into it. But I feel like I'm also like not into it. I don't like the lulls where it's like you're on the boat is going, you can't really do anything else. It's like, okay, go tend to everything. And it's like, okay, but I'm like, where's all the people? Like, where are my party people at? Like, what else are we doing? So I'm giving it another chance. We're just going with the flow to see. I have yet to return to Zelda, so at the moment it's taking my attention away from Zelda, which is probably a problem. But trying to get into it. I don't know. Did anybody else who played Spiritfarer like find that like sometimes it's just really slow?
I mean, it is. Like, it can be. I mean, I will say that stuff gets a little bit better the more you go because you end up having like more to do on the boat. Like whenever like there's travel time, it's like, oh, let me go. Let me go, cut some wood or do this or do that or make food for this character or that character. And you wind up, like, as the game progresses, you wind up having, like, a lot of little things to manage and do. And you actually come to, like, kind of appreciate the long boat journeys because now I finally have time to do all this other stuff,
Okay.
So I think that element of it gets better as you go. But,
Okay.
Yeah.
I was happy to be told that one of the spirits that is on my boat, which also I'm very confused that everybody's related. That part I don't get. But I was very excited to hear one of them is vegan, and I was like, they were like, I don't eat animal products. I was like, oh my God, okay, let me just make you some fruit and some popcorn.
Well, they're dead, so.
Well, yeah, that too. It's fine.
You're taking them to their final resting place, so.
Hey, it's okay.
Enjoy that.
I'm like, baby girl, get in the boat. Let's go. Let's go for a fun ride. But yeah, so still trying to like feel the vibes. But and then I will be playing the Xenoblade Chronicles 3 DLC. So I'm hoping to start that this weekend after I run my 22-mile run. I'm hoping to decompress with some Xenoblade. And then when I'm on the plane to London, also do the same thing. So yeah.
Nice. You mean London?
London.
London.
Yes, when I'm in London.
London Silvers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know next time I go back to visit my mom, because she also lives in London, Ontario.
Can I hang out with your mom?
In Ontario.
Different London.
Different London. I have to now start referring to it as London, clearly.
Okay. Well, tell her to move to the other London, and then her and I can hang out.
Yeah.
Yeah, just move across the pond, and then we can hang out. Even though it would be far easier for you to visit her in Canada, but
yeah,
sure.
It's fine. No, let's go overseas.
I love it. Okay. Well, with that all being said, I'm glad you're back, Amanda. Welcome back. Let's unpin this Nintendo Direct then, because we have a lot to talk about tonight, y'all. It's just as well that Lockleth and I basically played no video games because we have a lot to talk about with this Nintendo Direct. Yes, it was this morning. The Switch 2 Direct was a thing. I think it started at 6 a.m. Pacific, 9 a.m. Eastern. It was about an hour, a little over an hour in length, and they showed a lot of games. They talked about the hardware. They talked about the release date of the thing. They, I don't know. I'm kind of like wondering, where is even the best place to start? What's like the thing that y'all think we should we start by talking about like the hardware stuff, or do y'all want to talk about the games first? What do you think?
I would say hardware, but I can't get too techie. I don't know techie things. There's just a lot of things.
We could start with hardware, yeah.
I think we should start there, yeah.
Okay.
Because I think it's probably the thing we're probably more excited for the games anyway. So.
Right.
Yeah.
Just get it out of the way. Yeah. Okay, well let's just tail of the tape here, just to get that out of the way. It's coming out June 5th, 2025. The price in the US is $449 USD for the standard edition of the Switch 2. There is a bundle for $499 that comes with the new Mario Kart, which we'll talk about. It comes with a digital copy of that. And yeah, there's a lot of like they spent some time talking about like a little hardware overview for the thing, like the actual technical specs of it. Let me bring this up because I think everybody's very excited about bigger screen, same thickness.
Yeah, I was. First of all, to your point,
Love that.
I was very surprised at like how much they talked hardware, because like specifics about the hardware, because like they usually never go into frames per second, which they were talking about, or fans and stuff like that. So.
Did they have to say it like that though? Please?
Yeah, they did.
Sure did.
Yeah,
and not
they did.
the two gentlemen on the side that go.
Yeah, we have new friends. We have new people from Nintendo. I thought it was the same two people all the time, and now I've learned more people work for the company.
I like seeing the new blood. I thought that was cool.
They were crazy for this.
I don't like this at all.
They were crazy for that. I'm just gonna say that.
Someone knew what they were doing here.
Oh yeah, they knew. Seth, real quick, did any of us guess the price right?
So we had said before, like on the show, that question's come up from people in the community. And yeah, like I think we were all kind of in agreement that like I thought it was going to be $399. Of course, when we were originally talking about this was before things like tariffs were going to hell and stuff like this. So, there's all that kind of weirdness. I've always kind of thought that $499 would be the ceiling for this thing. And I don't think we like had specific like I don't think anybody like had an official prediction on the price necessarily, but we were all kind of feeling $399, $449 for this. So I think we were all pretty much in the ballpark for what we were expecting on that. Yeah.
Okay.
Now, just throwing it out there, Seth. I don't know if y'all knew this, because we felt a little sticker shock in Canada after seeing the price, which the price in Canadian dollars for the main Switch is $629 $999 for the base console, or it's $700 for the console with Mario Kart. But that's in Canadian dollars. When you actually do the conversion, we actually are getting a discount on the Switch console, because when you actually do the conversion, the version with Mario Kart, we're saving $9 there. But the bigger one with the console itself is we're actually only paying $400 even for just the base console. In US dollars when you do the conversion.
We love a good savings, if
So
we will.
all you got to do is come to Canada to buy our Switch 2s because they're
Smuggle it over
All right.
Canadian borders.
I'm coming, Ryan. Me, you, and your mom. Let's go.
Save 50
We'll head down to London and we'll get
London, and we're going to scoop one up.
We'll go when we are there. We'll go to a London Drugs in London to go get a Switch 2.
No.
Yes,
those
Amanda and the
London drugs.
Turfords.
Don't get those long dawn drugs, please. Don't.
Although the downside of buying it in Ontario, just so y'all know, 13% tax on everything.
Okay, there it is.
Okay, never mind. We will bring Mrs. Turford somewhere else. We'll be like, London is great, but we can't do the tax. Let's
We'll go to London Silvers in London, Ontario.
That's right.
Shout outs to mom.
Just stop.
Stop it, please.
Lachlan immediately regrets letting me come back to the show.
Oh goodness. Yeah. Well, yeah. It is interesting. They're even doing some weird stuff in Japan. Like in Japan, you can buy a Switch 2 that is region locked to the Japanese region, and that is much cheaper. Whereas if people living in Japan wanted a non-region locked Switch 2, they have to pay more. So, and it's very weird the way it works, because ordering it from, and this is true in other regions as well, ordering it from the actual official My Nintendo store in order to combat scalpers, they're like, hey, like play 50 plus hours of Switch 1 and then you can be entered in for a chance to order it and stuff like this. Just a bunch of weird stuff. Everything's bad. But regardless, that's the price. It's $449, $499 with a copy of Mario Kart, which, as it turns out, now that we know the price of Mario Kart, is actually an excellent deal.
Good deal.
So we'll get into that. But yeah, so they showed this again, bigger screen, same thickness, 7.9 inch screen, up from a 6.2 inch screen on the Switch 1. They showcase all of that stuff here during the Direct. This, I will say, I was more impressed with the hardware side of this than I was expecting to be. Nintendo is kind of known for, kind of being the underpowered, like really ever since the GameCube, they have not been like competitive in terms of power. This thing is going to support up to 120 frames per second, which is crazy to me. Having like 4K output with the dock and everything, like they are actually somewhat competitive in terms of power on this thing, and I was not expecting that going into this, to be so real with y'all.
Well, we're expecting somewhere between PS4 and PS5 level of graphics here, or basically what I would say this is very similar to the Xbox Series S in terms of hardware specifications. Yeah. So, which is why a lot of the games that we had announced are games that are from third parties, are games that are on Xbox Series S, as an example, that'll run there. So yeah, you're definitely right. Like I think the hardware itself is very impressive for a handheld, especially again having a handheld screen that runs at 120 frames. I think is really impressive.
I know.
And we even got confirmation of a game in this showcase that runs at 120 frames, like right on day one. So
crazy. Yeah, of course we got a little showcase of the mouse con. Yes, yep. I'm very hyped about the mouse controller.
I'm excited for it. I think this is really cool, but I'm kind of like, I can't wait to watch the color of my Joy-Con just rub off, because I'm like...
I hope not. I hope I'm sure they've tested that. I'm sure they've...
I hope so.
Yeah.
I just think it's funny that you can dual wield mice, but you don't have a keyboard accessory at all for some games. Like Civilization, as an example, which we'll probably talk about later, is a game that would really benefit from them having a keyboard as well as a mouse, but you only have the mouse capabilities to make it slightly easier.
Yeah, that is interesting. Yeah, and to your point earlier too, Ryan, like this is way more than Nintendo usually talks about this sort of thing.
Yeah.
Like they don't normally sit here and get into the weeds. I mean, granted, it's not like they're having Mark Cerny come out and talk about bump mapping and pixels and stuff.
They didn't say the word teraflop.
No teraflops in here, but I mean, still, like it is, more technical than Nintendo normally gets. I think Nintendo knows that with this Direct, they were speaking to their most hardcore audience. But yeah, there was all of this stuff that in the lead up to the Direct today. All of the hype around the mysterious C button. Everybody, the Nintendo, the only company on planet Earth that can get everybody hyped up about a button. We all found out today what the C button stood for. Turns out, stands for chat. They made Discord. For Switch
Very
2.
weird.
Literally Discord. In fact, when I was watching the live stream, I thought for a second it was Discord.
I thought so too. And I was a little thrown off by that because I feel like Nintendo has always been the brand that's like, no, we don't allow kids to talk to each other. We don't do that. You cannot talk with your friends. That is not how this works. So I was really thrown off for them to be like, talk with your friends, be on camera with your friends, do all the things with your friends in our made up Discord. And I'm like, oh, Nintendo, all the babies are going to get all the cameras and all hang out and voice chat and whatnot. Okay, you do you, boo.
We saw what happened when Uno came to Xbox 360 with the camera.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
I am not looking forward to that on this.
Also,
Yes.
I don't understand like the camera just being on a stick. I'm like, why doesn't it just attach to the Switch?
Or why
does it-
didn't they have
why
one
is
just
it-
built into the screen?
Right.
Like the PlayStation Vita had one, but not
I
the
feel
Switch.
like I've got my Kinect again.
I want to point out something, in case there was any doubt. Pat has entered the chat.
Oh,
here
good job,
in the,
Pat. Look at you.
Pat in the chat.
Nice.
Here in the- which I thought was kind of funny. If we needed more proof that Dougie Fresh listens to the show, Pat in the chat did make an appearance on the Nintendo Direct. Yeah, it was weird. I think this is. You're not thrilled about it?
Well, okay. I have qualms.
Okay.
Okay.
Let's hear the qualms.
I like that you
Go
just
on.
paused.
Go on.
And you're just like, I'm done. That's it.
Just qualms. No, the camera, terrible.
Yeah.
Awful. So the kids
Okay.
can have the camera. I don't
Okay.
want it.
Babies take cameras.
Babies, they don't care about quality.
I will say I'm glad at least the
Quality.
camera is cheap. So if you are actually interested in the camera, it's
Well,
only
how-
$50. It's actually not that expensive.
That's too
my-
expensive for that.
No, but
Like-
when you actually look at like webcam prices, it's actually
Yeah.
cheaper than most webcams. Is what
okay.
I'm saying. Yeah.
It's still too expensive.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
We don't
Well,
need that.
It's interesting because I mean the quality of the camera isn't super great, but they did this weird thing where they talked about how the audio is gonna have like new like noise cancellation technology. Like, they showed a
doubt
dude
it.
with like a blender.
I doubt it.
And I'm like, yo,
Come on.
listen, I refuse to believe that I'm gonna be able to sit with my Switch that far away from me while somebody is steady blending something behind me, and it's just gonna be cool.
Kato's comment in the chat.
There's
Yeah.
no way.
I can't wait to blend smoothies while I scream into the mic.
Yeah.
There's just
Like,
no way.
okay, you can't tell me somebody else in the room isn't going to talk and they're going to be picked up. Like, it
Yeah.
says they'll pick up voices.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, Tammy and Jammy, you're going to hear him. Okay?
Oh.
Well, you know what, too, though? One thing I do appreciate about this little, like, what are they call it, like game chat or something like that. I appreciate that they showed, like, that you can share screens while you're in game chat. And, like, they just showed it how it is. Like, it's, like, laggy.
Yep, it looks
they don't care.
real bad.
It looks
Yeah.
terrible. Not
And-
120 there.
Yeah.
The best part is,
Yeah.
Seth, I still feel like this is like their best case scenario for this, and it'll actually
is
probably
zhuzhed
look
up.
even worse than this. Somehow.
They're like, let's enhance it a little bit.
I kind of appreciate that transparency, personally.
Not 4 FPS, Kato.
I don't know. That balloon trip down there was running at four frames a second.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
Yeah. But I don't know. It's cute. It's weird that it's like a whole like it clearly matters to them, you know?
Yeah.
Like having this, like it's got a dedicated button, dude.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I don't know. Like they clearly think that this is going to be like a big part of of what you're going to be doing on Switch too. Like they showed things like a kind of Burnout Paradise style, like taking your picture and like having it show up when you're playing Mario Kart and stuff. And they even, when they showed the new Mario Party Jamboree stuff, they had like an iToy-esque, like PlayStation iToy-esque mini games in there.
Yep.
Which is kind of funny.
You're popping out of a pipe and clapping, but yeah, like you're right. Like, but at the same time, you know, we all kind of laughed at the screenshot button too on the Switch. And
sure.
Look how much how people actually like the screenshot button now. So
That's a good point.
I think that, you know, people will probably warm up to this, or at the very least, maybe we're not the right group, because since we're already very heavily ingrained in Discord. Because I think there's a lot of people out there that maybe aren't so ingrained in something like Discord, but they still want to talk to their friends while playing.
This looks
Also,
like shit.
Wait, I just need to like call this out. I can't wait for, I have people over with my Switch 2 to play Mario Kart, and the people who just don't know how to play the Switch are hitting that C button constantly. And I'm like, oh my God, please. It happened with the screenshot button. It's going to happen with that. It's like chatting. I'm like, please stop. Let it go.
Yeah.
At least on the Pro controller, it's kind of like in a spot that you're not going to press it.
It's out of the way.
Easily.
It's in the center. Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. I'm bragging
Kato.
about having friends.
I'm sorry.
Look, I don't know what that's like either, Kato. So I hear
Stop showing off your friends, Amanda.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm done. Okay. I hate this though. I hate like
don't-
everybody's faces being on the screen.
Yeah,
Stop.
I don't
want
want
to see that.
Don't perceive me. I don't want to be on the
Yeah, I just
screen.
don't- I just don't need that. Like, and again,
No.
I understand too that that's not for me. This is for people. These are like for hot people in their 20s who are like, oh, let's be cute. And
No
play
one in their
games.
20s is doing this.
No, I think this is for
Hey, you
people
know.
that are, you know, in their like late they're like early or late teens. I don't think this is
Okay.
for many.
Yeah.
many
Sure.
people.
Mom and dad won't let them on Discord. This is the next best thing.
Exactly.
Maybe.
Or
Yeah.
maybe they might find it more convenient than Discord.
Hot 20-year-olds have a life. What are you talking about?
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, I guess that's true. Well, I mean, I'll say too. There's a shot. I don't know where it is in the trailer, but I noticed it when they started having people like pop onto the screen and they did like the kind of like background removal stuff. First of all, it didn't look great.
It looked terrible.
Yeah.
But there was a moment where you could see somebody had like a circle cam kind of set up,
Yeah.
and so I'm like, okay, well that's kind of interesting. Like they give you some options or something like that, and it makes me wonder if like there's going to be, because on a lot of the other consoles you can stream like straight from the console, and it'd be kind of neat if you could stream from Switch 2 with like your own cam setups and stuff like that. That'd actually be kind of cool.
I wonder if that's the next step, Seth, because they have all the pieces in place to make that happen.
It's all there. Yeah. So yeah, it was interesting. Interesting that they spent so much. I mean, this is like a good like 6-7 minute chunk of the direct was on this.
Yeah. They clearly have some kind of market research that tells them that people want to do this. That rather than, and thank God we can finally retire the Switch Online app, with that giant contraption that you have to hook up to it to do voice chat.
True.
Right. Yep.
Oh, see, I don't like the heads moving like that. Oh, God.
It's weird. And you can't tell me that camera is perfectly aligned with all of it.
It knows where your face is, Lachlan.
Yeah. I wasn't I wasn't necessarily thrilled about it either, but it's like it's not the kind of thing I'm probably not going to use this much anyways.
I think this is like a good in a pinch. Like if you are, let's say you're on the road and you don't have Discord and you're with some friends and you want to do some voice chat, like maybe this is a good option if you don't have a computer or a
I have a
tablet or
phone.
something heavy. Well, maybe you don't want to talk on your. Maybe it'll actually sound better if you don't talk through your
I
phone,
doubt
through the
it.
Switch. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, Sean makes the point. Like people have been complaining
There's that
about
too.
no voice chat for a long time. Like people are like, "Oh my God, why can't I do anything with my friends?" And on Nintendo consoles, and now there is. I mean,
But we've
the
moved on
closest-
to actual
we
things
found
that
other
work.
solutions.
I was gonna say
now.
by them
Yeah.
not fulfilling that need, we found other
They
solutions.
waited
Yeah.
too long to do that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It is a little
Bringing it
is
back,
kinda
baby.
Too little, too late, I guess. But it's. I mean, look, there are going to be people who get use out of this. It's not necessarily for me, but it's fine. Was there any other like hardware level stuff that y'all wanted to hit on before we get into just some of these games?
Wait,
Yes,
I have like,
Amanda.
I guess it's a complaint. I hate to keep complaining. The SD card thing really threw me for a loop. I was like, now
Express.
I need a new
Yeah.
SD card. Are you kidding me? Okay.
The best part is I went to go look at a bunch of Canadian retailers to see if I could find one. No Canadian retailers really have these cards. So
Oh, no,
$200.
Ryan.
I'm like, I don't even know where I
Yeah.
get one of these.
We're going to have to come bring them to you, Ryan.
I'm going to have to import them from Amazon USA or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're on Amazon now. You have to use a micro SD Express or whatever. And yeah, a 1 terabyte micro SD Express is currently like $200. So yeah.
Y'all are going through
don't
the same
want-
thing we did with the our PS5s and Series X's, having to get the either the expansion card or a new hard drive.
Yeah.
But at least
I mean,
there's more space on the console now, which is good.
Right.
At least hopefully it won't balloon. Game sizes won't balloon that much.
I hope not.
I guess
mean,
Yeah, I
we'll-
hope
we'll
not
see.
too.
That's my fear, is that like I'm gonna get the thing home. It's got 256 gigs internal, and then like Mario Kart takes up half of it.
Yeah.
It'll literally be like the Series S, where you can install 3 games on it.
Yeah. So that's what I'm kind of And Yarden brings up the prices actually went up during the direct, so that wouldn't shock me. Like once this thing comes out and they're going to be in demand, they'll put the prices up. So.
Yeah. But I
My
think
mom-
but that kind of thing happened with the SSDs for the PlayStation 5.
Oh,
when we
yeah.
got those, but then the prices evened out over time. So they might be high right away, but if y'all are a little bit patient, they'll come down a little bit.
I'm gonna try. Yeah.
I'll be asking Santa Claus, please give me them SD cards, Santa. And he'll be like, what? I'm like, please, that's all I want. Why do you want that? I just need it.
But I mean, like, that's the thing though, is there's quite a lot of like little hidden costs with this, where the thing itself, you're already, if you're getting the Mario Kart bundle, spending $500 on this. Then it's like, cool, if I want to get an SD card, I'm spending a lot of extra money. If I want a Pro controller, if I want the GameCube controller, by the time this is all said and done, I'm like $1,000 into this thing.
I actually already did the calculation on my end, Seth, and I'm already $1,000 deep on just the hardware in Canada.
Like, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Nuts.
So,
And
yeah.
I'm not even buying the camera, but I'm
Right.
buying all the other stuff.
Ryan, throw it in there. Add it in.
Well, yeah, and that's the thing too, because there's like everybody, they showed like the Switch 2 edition of Mario Party Jamboree, and it's like, cool, great. What you're forgetting is that a lot of those games utilize the camera that you're also going to have to buy.
Oh.
You know what I mean? So it's like, cool. So there's just a lot of like little hidden costs to it, and I think that it's interesting, because I think that this is going to turn some people off to buying this. I'm already seeing a lot of people, even hardcore Nintendo fans, saying, I'm not getting this day one. Anyway, yes, Lockleth.
Can we talk about this Welcome Tour app
Oh
game
my God.
that you
Oh,
have
yeah,
to
of course.
freaking pay for?
Yeah, that's crazy.
Excuse me?
At least it'll only be like $40. It's fine.
I don't
Oh,
care,
no.
Ryan. Nobody wants it in the first place,
I
but you're
know.
gonna make me pay for it
Yeah, that was
just to
that
have a
was
little
crazy
mini
to
me walk around
you
and
can
learn
pay
about
for-
the device that I purchased for $1,000. No, thank you.
Well, actually, Lockleth, you can also play tech demos, they said.
Oh wow! Like la di da, Nintendo.
Yeah, this not being a built-in thing is crazy to me. Like, because when this first started, I was like, oh, okay, neat. Like, this is like their version of like Astro's Playroom or something. Like, PS5 has a little built-in game that kind of teaches you about the console and stuff. I'm like, yeah,
But it's
neat,
also
okay.
a really good game on top of that.
Right.
Yeah,
Ain't
yeah,
nobody
Give it to
buying this
us.
one.
Just give it to
Right.
us for free. Give this to
Oh,
us
I
for
don't
free.
like-
Yeah, and I'm like, and from what I have seen, because this, I guess you can already look at like the Japanese eShop page for it, and I think it's like under $10. So I expect this will be pretty cheap, but Nintendo should have just
Golf.
taken the bite. Should have just taken the bite on it.
Yes.
Yeah. Pretty silly.
Oh my god, look at this Galf. I love this.
Yep.
I mean, it
I'm
looks
not
cool.
buying
Like,
it.
I like these little mini games. Like, this looks kind of neat, It looks kind of fun to move around your little mouse con and, shake some
Yeah.
maracas.
I'm sure there's actually some fun stuff in there, but
I'd love to scrape paint off a wall in this game. Just give it to me.
you're paying to
mean?
scrape paint off the wall, Lockleth. Think
I'm
about
gonna
that.
have to scrape some paint to get the money to buy this thing in the first place, Ryan.
True.
Hire me. I'll scrape paint. I'll do it IRL. I'll come to your house.
Yeah. So what do
Time
y'all
for feet pics.
what do y'all
Listen,
think
hit
about
me
the? Oh God. This is actual soliciting here on the show. What do y'all think about the new Pro controller? How's everybody feeling about that?
It looks the same, but it has a Nintendo Switch 2 logo in the middle of it.
Yeah.
It has a place for your headphones. It's got things in the back.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
like
the
the new
paddles.
buttons.
Yeah.
But I mean, I am buying one of these because I love the Pro controller. And I've wanted to buy a new one for a while anyways, because I've had my current one since the Switch came out. And the battery's starting to go on it anyways, so I'm just like, this is the perfect time to get one anyways. So
Yeah.
They didn't say, and I'm sure it's not true, that the Pro Controller for the current Switch won't work.
It does work.
Oh, it does work. Oh, then I
think
don't need that.
I think actually
Keep
it's
it.
one of the only accessories that does work.
Oh, stunning.
It's
'Cause I don't think
interesting.
the Joy-Con work.
They do
so?
work.
Oh,
you
they do?
can obviously you can't attach them.
Yeah, like how do you pair them then?
But you can pair them wirelessly. Like you can still pair them, like you would anything else, like a wireless controller. But because they have a page on their website where they talk about the games that are compatible with Switch 2, and one of them they're like, yeah, like you can still play stuff like Ring Fit, because Ring Fit requires the IR sensor that the new Joy-Con don't have, but you can still pair the old Joy-Con to it and play it that way. So you can do that, but it's not going to be viable for most like Nintendo Switch 2 exclusive games. It's mostly for like backwards compatible Switch 1 games, like WarioWare Move. It's another example.
Yeah. Or you won't be able to play anything that requires the mouse controls.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's mostly for like a backwards compatibility thing versus something to use as like a viable controller for Switch 2. But yeah, you can still do, you can do the Switch 1 Pro Controller. It's not going to have a C button or anything like that, of course. But yeah, maybe that's okay for some people, until you can, scrape some paint and get the money for a Switch 2 Pro Controller. Who knows?
It's fine. It's over the Switch 2 Pro Controller, by the way, in Canada, over $100. So
Oh my God, what's going on in Canada?
I think it's 90 here.
yeah, I was
I
gonna
think
say it's pretty
90.
close. It's pretty
90
close to
for
100
that?
American dollars.
I think so.
No. It's $79.99 US.
Okay, so
Because it was
okay.
$89.99 for the Joy-Con.
That's
If you
what
want a
it is.
replacement Joy-Con.
You ain't gonna get me with that, Nintendo. No way.
I think it is cool that they have programmable buttons on the handles. I think that's pretty neat. The audio jack at the bottom is huge. Like, cool. Nintendo's finally kind of catching up, I mean, I don't know if I'm getting one of these at launch, but I'm definitely going to wind up getting one eventually.
I will eventually, but not at launch because I have mine still.
Yeah. No, honestly, if my Pro Controller's battery wasn't dying anyways, I probably wouldn't get one right away either. But it's just like, it just makes sense to get one now if I want to get one.
Yeah, but you could have a GameCube one instead, Ryan.
No, I'm buying both.
Oh,
I'm definitely
Mr.
getting
Moneybags
we'll
over here. Okay.
we'll talk
Please,
about the
I haven't
GameCube
been buying
controller.
games for 3 months, Amanda. I've saved a little bit of cash.
Well, excuse me.
Yeah.
I guess one final thing I kind of want to mention in terms of like the non-game related stuff that was at this direct, Game Share is back from like the DS games. Like DS used to have the download play where you could like play games together with download, and they're bringing that back for this, where you only need to have one copy of something like Clubhouse games and you can share them with other people locally. I think that's great. I think that's going to be huge for families and stuff like this, and I think it's awesome. I'm glad they brought it back.
Oh my God, is that faux Uno right there? Oh my God, I love
Clubhouse
it.
games.
Clubhouse
Oh my God,
games.
play me an Uno, please.
Yeah, exactly.
Love Uno.
They could have shown off Cornhole instead, but they decided to go with the Uno.
But I mean, look, it even works with stuff like Mario 3D. Like being able to play that stuff, locally and use Game Share. I think that's really cool. And it's just a neat little kind of consumer-friendly move, I think, to do that. And that paired with, they talked about the virtual game cards with last week's Direct. I think they're being a little bit mindful of the fact that a lot of people and a lot of families have multiple Switches. So, yeah should save people some money. Okay. I think with that being said, I don't know if y'all have anything else on the hardware front you want to talk about. Anything else? Anything we're missing?
Nay,
Okay.
nay.
So let's talk about some video games. I think the place we should probably start when it comes to games is Mario Kart, right? Like it was the thing they opened the show with. It was, it's the big launch title for Switch 2. How's everybody feeling about Mario Kart World?
So good.
Yes, Lockleth.
Farmer Luigi. Enough said.
I can do one better.
Oh.
Moo Moo Cow.
Yes.
Did you
Moo
see the
Meadows.
dolphin though? There's like the dolphin.
You can play as the
There's a-
penguin as well.
Oh my God, I
Yes,
love it so
you
much.
can.
The snowman,
There's a
please.
sandworm.
Dude. Like, y'all have
Love
heard
me
me
a
on
good
this soapbox. Y'all
Can I be the
y'all have
banana?
heard me on this sandbox for a while now. I have been very vocally anti, like, just throwing Link and stuff in here. I want Mario characters in Mario Kart, damn it. And this trailer was like, yeah, dude, we're putting everything in here. You can play as the cow. You can play as the crab. You can play as whoever you want to play as in Mario Kart. You got playable Pokies, playable Piantas in here. Hell yeah, man.
Don Pianta, my guy. Thank you for bringing them back.
I love it. I love the costumes that you can put on the characters from like Mario Kart Tour. Oh, it's so good. This is crazy. Like being able to grind on rails and like hop around on walls.
Yo, I'm gonna mess that up so fast. I'm gonna be like, I don't get it.
Yeah. Because, you can tell there will be some risk reward there where if you screw that up, it'll be real bad.
The part where they went into the semi trucks and start taking off.
Yeah.
What?
And like it looks like you can kind of control it when you get in there for a second.
It's almost like the
so
new
sick.
Bullet Bill or something in a way.
Oh man, it's so
You can
cool.
just drive over the other passengers, it looks like. But this game looks dope. I can't wait to play
They
this.
brought the whole world, you know?
Well, you
Yeah,
A
can
whole new
literally-
world, if you will.
In this way, you can totally drive all the way across the world. in this
Yes, I like that. I like it.
Yeah, they Forza Horizonified Mario Kart, and I think that's a good thing.
game.
Yes, but also another tie back to what we'll get into later, the best game announced, Kirby Air Ride. Kirby Air Ride has a mode where you could just drive around the whole land and just do whatever you want to do. Oh my god, look at Boo. Can you go back? Look at that.
He's
got the mustache, the monocle.
That outfit for Boo is so good, dude. Yeah, like some of these outfits are just like phenomenal, dude. Chef's
looks
kiss,
so cursed.
phenomenal, so good. Well, and I mentioned this when they first revealed this game before we knew what it really was. Like the characters are so much more cute in this Mario Kart. They're a lot more like squat and like just like cute and kind of like squishy. And I just love it. Like I love the art direction of this game, and of course weather effects. Ryan, there's gonna be weather in this game.
Yep.
Weather.
You knew that would get me excited. I love the weather. So yes, absolutely. I love the weather effects. But I mean, any good open world kart racing games need some good weather. So
I feel like it kind of got the Mario Wonder treatment of like, let's just push boundaries a little bit. Like, what if we did something a little extra wild? Like, how would it be perceived? And I think this is just what people want. Like, we're sick of the same Mario Kart over and over and over again. Now, this is just like, oh my God, this is all I need. I didn't need a Mario Kart 9, 10, whatever it was. That was like the same thing, just new tracks. Like, no, let me do some crazy stuff.
yeah.
I'm shocked at how different it is. I genuinely, like, when they first revealed it, I was like, okay, like, they're doing Mario Kart 9. It's going to be great. It'll be more Mario Kart. It'll be great. This is so much more different than I ever would have expected it to be with, like, the new gameplay wrinkles. Not only the fact that it has the whole open world element to it, but, like, the new gameplay wrinkles, like grinding on the rails and, like, you know, doing wall bounces and stuff. That's going to completely change the way this game is played. That's wild. So...
They must have hired a new guy in the Mario Kart department. He's like, hear me out. Hear me out.
Well,
I got an
also,
idea.
Shout outs to like all of these great little pieces of key art that we see, including Mario drinking a soda that's called Yoshi's Drink.
I'll drink it.
Something tells me I don't want to know what
It's
that is.
caffeine. It has an apple on it.
Yeah,
It's caffeinated, naturally
a highly
caffeinated.
caffeinated apple soda called Yoshi's Drink, of course.
It's a thing.
Yeah. But I think one thing they probably noticed as well is that with Mario Kart, a lot of people were, you know, playing online with their friends, but they weren't really playing this game by themselves, or there was just not a lot of value if you didn't have people around. So having this extra open world stuff is really going to add like a ton of stuff for you to do if you don't
so
have
sick.
your friends to play with. If you just want to jam out with Mario Kart, but you don't want to just race tracks, like it looks like there's going to be a lot of stuff to experience in the world and find. So yeah, I'm excited to get out there and start, you know.
Look at this. Like, look at how much stuff you can see just out on the horizon and like, just like all this stuff out in the open world. I can't wait for us to like just link up online and just drive around together.
I wonder what kind of music will be available, like in a mode like that. Like, will we get to pick the music, or is it like different based off of where you are in the world? That would be kind of cool.
Look at this. Like,
Yeah, I would imagine it's going to change depending on your place you're going.
Yeah, I imagine so too. I love this, like being able to stop and pose and take pictures together. It's like we're going on a little road trip.
The
or something.
Instagram girlies are fed.
Oh, it's so cute. Like I just think it's checking like all the boxes for me. It is so much more like in depth than I was expecting it to be. It's so much more different than I was expecting it to be. Also, they touched on it a little bit earlier in this trailer, but there's this new like knockout race mode.
Yeah.
That is Knockout Tour is what it's called. And it's basically F-Zero 99, but like in Mario Kart is basically what it is.
Or it kind of reminds me of The Crew, the game, the Crew,
Yeah.
where you're kind of like driving across America. You're kind of doing the same thing here, and people are getting knocked out along the way.
Oh, it's so cool. Such a good idea. I can't wait to, God, and the fact that it's launching with this is just like, it's so smart. And I don't know, like it gives me the same feeling I had when the Switch 1, was coming around, where we saw stuff like Breath of the Wild, when we saw stuff like Mario Odyssey, where it's like, cool, like they're taking these like tried and true Nintendo franchises and doing something very different with them, and that just makes me really happy.
Yeah, and likewise, going to your earlier point, Seth, I would have been a little more disappointed if this was the big launch title and it wasn't so different. If it was more of the same, because Mario Kart 8, as much as we love it, there isn't a lot of substance outside of just the racing aspect. Whereas since there's a lot more, meat on the bone here, this could just be your one launch game and you could get a lot of play out of this game.
Totally.
Even just in the single player content.
Dude, that key art. Look at that key art. It's beautiful. Like I love it. Yeah.
I like the logo of Mario Kart World too. I like how colorful it is.
Yeah, like even the whole typeface of it, like how it's very colorful. It kind of looks like paintbrush strokes or something. Even
the numbers of your placement in the race is the same font, which is cool.
I was trying to find an example of that.
Yeah, it's like later on in the video, I think.
It's right there.
Yeah, there's the countdown.
Kind of thing. I love that. Like it just gives the whole thing this kind of like safari kind of feel to it or something. And the vibes are right. There's a shot in the trailer where Mario eats a burger, and I'm like, dude, yeah, like hell yeah.
That's how he gets his costume, is by eating a burger.
I love it. They are doing a dedicated Mario Kart World Direct on the 17th, which is going to be really cool. And also worth noting, tomorrow and Friday, they're going to be doing Nintendo Treehouse Live. And I'm sure that this is going to be one of the games they talk about during Treehouse Live.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll certainly learn quite a bit more about it there. But yeah, I am very excited for that indeed. I'm trying to think if there's any other. Well, I guess something that we should probably talk about, because we actually had a couple of questions in regards to this. Quaggy came in and asked, "It is I, the Quaggy, king of the Xenobabes. How do we feel about $79.99 for Mario Kart? Seems like Nintendo is quite confident and borderline arrogant to me." What do y'all think of that?
It was definitely a shock. I was kind of like, Nintendo has always been the $60 price point, and I mean, I don't know about anybody else, but I've complained about the $60 price point. So to see it at $80, I think that's what made me say, okay, now I'm going to pre-order the bundle. Like that was my okay, well, I'm not going separate. Like I'm going to get it together. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's $10 more than your typical Xbox or PlayStation game too. So that's where the sticker shock was, even for someone like me. Because just to put it in perspective, that's 100 Canadian dollars before tax, which is not something we usually have here. So when a game itself, when one game is in triple digits, it's like, you got to think about your purchase a little bit more. So, to your point, Amanda, it's a steal if you get it in the bundle. So, which makes me a little bit scared, because those are obviously going to be the bundles that get snapped up first.
I know.
Yeah.
So I really, really hope I can even get a bundle with Mario Kart.
Which
I think it's gonna be tough.
Kevin in the chat said Best Buy and GameStop are both saying that online pre-orders go live on the 9th at 12 p.m. But I don't know where you saw that. I haven't seen that.
In Canada, we're getting the same information from our Best Buy and GameStops as well. So I'm imagining that's like a worldwide thing. Yeah. Except for Australia, which apparently, according to Fulia, they're taking pre-orders now for stuff.
So not midnight, 12 in the
No,
afternoon.
12 in the afternoon, Eastern.
Oh,
Right.
I am not working that day. Okay, I'm gonna be on the computer like, sorry, I'm busy.
Yeah,
I mean, I will be at work, but I'm still doing that.
I feel like, well, I'm going to try my best to order in person if I can. And I think I'm just going to try to be at GameStop when they open that morning and just try to get it that way. Hopefully that all goes smoothly enough. Again, I'm not super concerned about it. Nintendo, I think, feels pretty confident about like their stock for this. And also, I mentioned it earlier, but I think the sticker shock for this thing is going to hurt them a little bit in terms of like the amount of sales that they're going to see for this thing. I don't think it's going to sell as well as something like Switch 1 because there are a lot of people who look at this and say, nah, dude, like I can't afford it. I know a lot of people who were coming into this Direct like expecting that they'd be day one on this, and now knowing how much everything is going to cost, they're kind of like, eh.
Well, I still think the scalpers are still going to scoop up all the day one units.
Sure.
But you're right, over time, Seth, that sticker
Yeah.
shop I think is going to, ward off some people for sure.
Right.
Yeah, I even just incidentally talking to people around the office because a bunch of us in the newsroom we were watching this together because we were actually putting together a news story about the Direct today.
That's so cute.
We talked about it and we're like, oh well, a lot of people I talked to today are not day one. I'm the only person I talked to who's day one in the office.
Like I think hardcore Nintendo fans are good, but like.
You talked to yourself, Ryan, and you said yes, day one.
No,
I'm the only one.
You know what I
one.
You know
I
what
know
I mean?
what you
Look,
meant.
I'm old. I say words weird. Okay.
No, it just made me giggle. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Well, so when it comes to the price, though, yeah, this is going to be, $10 more than even because, coming into Switch 2, I'm like, it made perfect sense to me that Nintendo was going to match what Microsoft and Sony have done for a while. $69.99 has been the price point for, at this point, years in this generation. So it made sense to me that Nintendo was going to do that, and something like Donkey Kong, which we'll talk about later, is going to be $69.99. Like that's going to be the new standard price. But Mario Kart is going to be $10 above that. Now, this is not the first time Nintendo's done this. They did the same thing with Hotkey when that came out. It was $10 more expensive, and everybody freaked out about that too. But I think that Hotkey, at least for me, I don't feel like I don't regret paying $10 extra for Hotkey. Like I think that they actually were correct in their value assessment of how much Hotkey should be valued at. And for like if Mario Kart World is as ubiquitous with the Switch 2 as Mario Kart 8 Deluxe was with the Switch 1, this is probably the kind of thing I'm going to be playing for like the entirety of the Switch 2's life.
Yeah.
So I actually don't think it's that bad. And like, again, if you get the bundle, it's actually cheaper, So I don't know. Like I'm personally not upset about that price, but I get it. Like it is a lot of money, but I'm not personally upset about it.
If anything, I think they're being smart by trying to funnel people towards the Mario Kart bundle, so
Right.
that way they have that many more active users in Mario Kart that they can count on to then sell you DLC and other things down the road as well, because they'll know these people have Mario Kart since it came with their Switch. So I think they're actually smart getting it into more hands, and then those that don't want to buy the bundle, it's more expensive. But we also and correct me if I'm wrong, Seth, I don't know, because there was a bunch of asterisks on that price that we saw.
Right.
We don't know. Do we know if that's for the digital version? Because I've heard from some people that the digital version of that game is actually cheaper than the physical version.
I've heard the same. I've not heard any confirmation. Like from what I've heard,
Because Nintendo hasn't put out a statement with that
Right.
confirmation. But that's what
Yeah.
I'm thinking as well, is that maybe that $79.99 is just the physical edition. Because
I've heard that the physical is $10 more than even that. Like I've heard that the physical is $89.99.
interesting.
So I don't know. I don't know if that's how it actually is or not, but
I heard the
that's
same.
what I've heard.
That digital is cheaper than
Yeah.
the physical.
Yeah.
It makes me worried that like all of the big titles we saw today are going to fall into that bucket.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
Well,
no.
I mean,
I'm going to be broke after I buy the console, please.
Right.
Hit
You buy
me, I'm
this
poor.
a few
Great
less
movie.
games, that's all.
I'll say this, like Nintendo, so like again, Donkey Kong is going to be $69.99. I think they actually were pretty measured with Switch 1 Tears of the Kingdom is the only Switch 1 game that ever was at that price, you know? And, like, in fact, the opposite was true, too. Like, there were certain games like Mario vs. Donkey Kong, Emio, Endless Ocean, like Detective Pikachu. There were games that were actually cheaper as well. Like, so the opposite was true, too. And I wouldn't be surprised if we saw $59.99 games on Switch 2 as well. So I'm willing to give them the benefit of the doubt on this a little bit. And I also think that like again, like if the game's worth it, and if there's any game that I'm confident will be worth it, it's Mario Kart.
Yeah. And the other one you'll probably see again when the next Zelda comes out at probably that price. Maybe they'll do that with the next 3D Mario.
Right.
But you're right. They're probably going to try give you cheaper games going down the road. Like Metroid Prime 4 is probably going to be in the the $69.99 range.
Right.
But then when they might do a Clubhouse Games 2, like that'll probably be like a $40 game. Like I like that they explore the scale a little bit. Just the downside though of a game being that expensive is knowing that they don't go on sale that often either, being Nintendo's way now. So you're kind of stuck at that larger price point.
But
you're
you
right,
know
if it's worth
what?
it.
You can always play some indies. If there's anything I took away from this after like hearing prices, I was like, you know what? This is going to encourage me to play more indie games.
Yep.
Yeah,
100%.
that's true.
And
Well,
we saw a couple
Yard
good
makes
indie
the
games.
That's true. Yeah. Yard makes the point in the chat. Kirby, Tears of the Kingdom, and Mario Party Switch 2 editions are all $79.99. So that, to me, is interesting, too, because those games have upgrade paths to them as well. For the physical, he points out. Where, like, if you already own the base game, then you pay the extra $10-20 or whatever to upgrade to those versions, and that is also variable. So that's another, like, interesting factor where I almost feel like they have to price those that way, because there are going to be people, you could, I mean, theoretically, if you wanted to, just pick up, like, a used copy of Kirby and the Forgotten Land, pay the extra $10 or whatever, and just you're good to go.
Yeah, and it sounds like those are variable based on whether or not there's an expansion or some kind of extra content. Like the Kirby one, as an example, I believe we heard it's $20 for that upgrade, but then like the Breath of the Breath of the Wild one, I think it's only $10.
Right, and Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom are also free if you're an NSO expansion pack member.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I like that. That all makes some sense to me. The thing that was weird is they didn't talk about any of that pricing structure in the direct itself.
Yep.
I thought that was weird. That like kind of rubbed me the wrong way. I think what is probably happening with that is I think they were kind of wait and see on like things with tariffs. They probably recorded this weeks ago, and there's a lot of air of uncertainty about that, and they didn't want to commit to anything.
It's also too, I think it's less relevant for them to talk about prices in directs now as well, because of the fact that if they talk about it in US dollars, well, then everyone's got to do the conversion and stuff. Like they're trying to appeal to a worldwide audience, and having to break down all the different currencies is not something they probably want to do. So I actually think I personally think it's okay that they don't talk about prices and they just release that information afterwards.
Yeah, I think it's fine too. It's interesting. There's a question from Yon32 here. Are we all going to try to take that day off? Will Nagachaka hate this version of Mario Kart if it has the same tutorial sequence as Forza Horizon 5?
Oh my god.
Everybody taking the day off?
Wait, what day? The day that it comes out, or the day to pre-order?
5th.
Oh, 100% June 5th. Yeah. The day it pre-orders, I think I'll do a half day just so I can, like, I've never done a pre-order for a console, so I don't really know how that works. Like, I don't know if they run out of pre-orders, but I just want to make sure it's like, okay, I just want to make sure it's like secured.
Yeah.
Wait, they do run out or they don't?
Yeah.
I didn't hear.
Oh yeah, they will.
They will.
Oh, I didn't. Oh God, I'm gonna panic.
In fact,
no.
they might run out of consoles in 5 minutes or less.
My anxiety. Do we go to the store then?
I'm gonna
That's
try.
the thing.
Going.
You're gonna have to check with the stores because there's not a lot of stores
Ryan,
that do
you're
in-store
freaking me out. I'm
pre-orders.
gonna have to like call my whole family. Be like, can
No,
everybody
this
go
This is
online?
me trying to help
Amanda.
you. This is me trying to help you.
Yes, Mom.
We'll be fine. You know what we're going to do? We're going to go to our local GameStop.
Maybe.
We're going to go find the one guy that works there that has no friends, and we're going to be friends with them. Okay?
Be like, hey, buddy. Okay, well, the only thing is I don't have a vehicle, but that's the only
could
thing.
run. Then,
True, I could
Just
run
run.
there. But I will definitely be taking like that half day because like I need to secure this baby. I just need to know I got it.
I will save
Yeah.
all of my vacation at this new job so I can make sure I take off that day.
Heck yeah.
I made the rounds and called all the different retailers here in my local area, and none of them are doing in-store pre-orders. They said I have to do them online. So,
Oh, that's good to know.
I have to hope that I can get in one of the checkouts and come away with a console. Maybe I'll have to go over to my local London Drugs website.
London.
Or the Real Canadian Superstore. That's
Call up mom.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I guess speaking of these enhanced edition games for Switch 2, what do y'all think of this? Like the fact that we have multiple games on this that get like kind of Switch 2 upgrades that you can like pay to, to get extra content and have them like look and run better. Like for me, Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom look and run so much better on Switch 2. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Like how are y'all feeling about this?
I'm
I
excited
don't wanna
about it
replay.
because I have a special reason. I haven't finished any of the games that they talked about for this enhanced upgrade. I haven't finished Breath of the Wild. I haven't finished Tears of the Kingdom. I haven't finished Kirby and the Forgotten Land. Metroid isn't even out yet. Pokemon Legends isn't even out yet. Like, it gives me a reason to start the games over with this version in mind.
Yeah. I am actually very excited to also play a lot of these for the first time because, I talked about it earlier, but I specifically, like, as soon as I saw that Kirby and the Forgotten Land was coming, I was like, well, I'm going to put that game to the side because I'm going to play the upgraded version. And I knew that they were going to do this with Tears of the Kingdom. That's why I was just like, yeah, I'm just going to wait to and open this later.
This is sick. This
Yeah,
Zelda
this-
Notes thing is awesome.
Praise
yeah.
be.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is great. Like this
Sean will
whole-
never have to open his map again. He'll just open the Zelda notes.
It's just on his phone. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's awesome. Like having this stuff baked in, this like sharing auto build schematics with other players with this is it's so cool. Such a good idea. I love that thing.
Could be interesting,
Yeah.
getting somebody's play builds and putting it in there.
I like how it just beams into the game too, like pretty seamlessly. It looks like.
I'm gonna be looking at that Reddit, see what we got out there in the world.
There'll be some interesting things going on.
If it's anything like the Sims community creations, we're going to be for an interesting time with these. So.
This though, Kirby and the Forgotten Land Switch 2 edition is what I'm really excited about. The fact that it has new story content with like new mouthful mode, I'm like, hell yeah, dude. Yes. Very excited about that.
And it looks like visually a lot better too from
It looks really good
versus the original game. So yeah,
Looks
I'm very
great.
excited to play this for the first time with the new expansion as well.
Well, Ryan, I know the thing you're most excited about.
What
Metroid
could
Prime
that
4.
possibly be, Seth? It could be anything.
That Metroid Prime 4 getting a Nintendo Switch
Heck
2
yeah!
version.
Dude, I cannot wait for Metroid Prime 4. And the fact, of course, I'm very thankful that they confirmed there's a Switch 2 version. They showed a little bit of it here, and it looked you could tell that it looked a little bit better than the version we saw before. But what was most interesting here that they showed off, Seth, was talking about stats. They talked about quality and performance modes for a
did.
Nintendo game, playing at 4K 60 frames per second with HDR if you're in the dock.
That's crazy.
Or 1080p 120 frames if you want to play in performance mode. And then if you play it handheld, they also confirmed afterwards it runs at 120 frames at 1080p on the handheld as well. So like I am super stoked for this version of Metroid Prime 4. I'm very thankful that they're doing a Switch 2 version, and dude, between the trailer last week for Metroid Prime 4 and then this news, like I cannot wait for this game. I've been waiting since the Switch came out for this gosh darn game to come out. Ever since they announced it, a couple months after the Switch came out to now, it's been I feel like it's going to be worth the wait.
Yes.
And I cannot wait for this game. Also, those mouse controls, I think I'm going to probably play it that way because it kind of reminds me of playing. Seth, did you ever play the Wii version of Metroid Prime Trilogy?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. So I actually prefer like the pointer controls from the Wii
too.
version to the original controls, or even what they did with the remastered for Metroid Prime Remastered.
Yeah, gyro.
And I think the mouse controls are probably going to be a lot closer to those, the Wii pointer controls. So I think it's going to be really, really fun to play with those controls.
Yes. That's the thing I'm so excited to play shooters on Switch 2 with MouseCon.
Yeah.
Like that kind of mouse control has always been the most precise way to play shooters. The fact that you can do that with Prime 4, having a performance mode on a Nintendo console is crazy.
Yeah.
Like, this is wild. I can't wait to play the game at 120 frames with the mouse controller. Like,
oh no, I'm not playing it at 120 frames. I'm totally cool with playing 4K and getting that 60 frames
beautiful.
per second. Like I mean, the fact that it runs at 60 frames per second with upscaled 4K, I think is pretty incredible. So
yeah, I can't wait. I was super. We did not get a release date still. This is still just a nebulous 2025. I imagine, they're going to do another direct at some point later this year.
Yeah.
For me, the purpose of this direct was like, hey, let's, reveal some of the like launch window games. Let's talk about the hardware. Let's show what this thing can do differently. I wasn't really expecting a release date here. I think once we get to like, whatever, a little bit later on, we'll have like another direct that'll reveal the date.
I would have only assumed they would have given us the date here if it was a launch title.
Right.
But because it's not, I think that they're gearing that up to be like a October game, like one of their big holiday games.
Yeah.
And for good reason. I think it deserves it.
Yep, I'm with you. Speaking of their big holiday games, the other Nintendo Switch 2 edition for a previously announced Nintendo Switch 1 game, Pokemon, is getting a Switch 2. Oh, yes, Amanda.
I have a question that backtracks us a little bit.
Please.
So, because Rybo just kind of triggered in my head because he said in the chat, play Neon White with mouse control. I wonder how that will work. If you have an indie game that like maybe could use it, like will they have to be built compatible for the mouse?
Yeah, there's actually, so there are games that are getting free updates on Switch 2. So I don't know if that's like on a case-by-case basis, like if developers have to like pay something to Nintendo or whatever to update their game for Switch 2. But there's a whole list of games that are going to be updated for free for Switch 2 with stuff like game sharing, with stuff like the mouse mode and things like that.
Yeah. Or other performance things. Like I noticed Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, Seth, were on that list.
They were.
Yeah.
Yeah, they might finally be making those games run halfway decently on Switch 2.
Yeah. We'll see. But segueing back to Pokemon, Seth.
Yes.
Looking at the segment that we saw from Pokemon here versus what we saw last week with Pokemon or from the Pokemon perspective, I think this looks noticeably better.
Way better
than the last version. Like this actually gets me even more excited for this game. And I talked about it on RPG Cave with Garrett because we've talked about Pokemon Za a couple times there. And I'm one of the people that's actually been pretty high on this game. This game looks like it's going to be a lot of fun and a game I'm actually pretty excited to play this fall. So
I'm with you.
And seeing the Switch 2 version, I think it gets me even more excited for it. So I'm pretty pumped to see more of it.
I'm ready to be heard again. Yeah. I'm ready.
Not heard again.
I mean, it running on Switch 2, like you can tell just looking at the footage that the thing is going to like run at a better, more consistent frame rate. Just watching it, you can tell. Yeah. So
it also again, even just looking at the textures, or the environment itself, I think it looks noticeably better.
Yep. I'm very excited about that. Okay, the next thing that we should talk about, Amanda, you ate well during this direct.
Oh my God. Someone's listening to me. I don't know who it is, but like Nintendo, thank you from the bottom of my heart. I cannot wait. I swear to God, if Ribbit King does not come back, I'm going to freak out. But I was like, so let me paint the picture. I was in a meeting. I was in an in-person meeting with like 40 other people. And I'm just like trying not to freak out, trying not to cry. This was their opener. They were just like, hey, guess what? Here's Wind Waker. I was like, oh my God, this is all I need. I don't need anything else. Just give me the GameCube NSO because we got Pokemon Coliseum, Mario Sunshine, the Mario game that everybody poops on besides me. Like, oh my God, I could guarantee the OG Animal Crossing will be slipped in there somewhere.
They need to do that.
Oh my God, it looks so good. I didn't know what this was.
Soul Calibur 2?
No idea. Yeah. I was
this is an iconic fighting game. This is one of the big 3D fighting games of that era. It's a weapon-based fighting game, and one of the big deals was that each console had its own secret character, and the Nintendo version was Link.
So no idea what that was. I just skiddly booped over it. But very excited for Wind Waker. Just like I had been saying, we just need the GameCube games. Just give them to me. I miss them. And just, look at that. Look at that.
I am I am with
Oh
you,
my
Amanda.
God, my duck girl. I can't wait. Well, actually, she's more like a bird, but
Yeah.
I can't wait. I'm
freaking
so
love
hyped.
the GameCube as well, and this news also got me to in the middle of the newsroom jump out of my chair and go yes. I was so excited for this game because
I've never played Chibi Robo. I'm so excited.
Let me tell you.
No,
I'm so hyped. And also, I was like, I never use NSO. I feel like now I'm going to be predominantly using NSO.
You better use it, daughter.
Because
family.
I'm in the lock fam, and I'm like, I could just never get into anything. Now I'm like, oh my God, goodbye. See you later. I'm going to be streaming all of the games from the GameCube.
we found your
NSO.
scene.
We found it.
Yeah.
TPR. You better use the family channel.
Oh my God, you're in our fam too? Hey.
Yep, that's my son.
Brother.
Called it
Nice.
out.
I never knew I had a brother. Another
You're
brother.
welcome. He was a
There you go.
surprise, that one. Anyways,
Oh,
continue.
Damn.
Seth, I've been seeing you circle Chibi
Chibi.
Robo there. I know you're a big
Yeah.
fan of that, but I also noticed a little game to the far left, Fire Emblem Path of Radiance. That
Yeah.
game, for those that don't know, is stupidly expensive. It
A
is
lot of these are.
very
Chibi
expensive.
Robo is. It's like $200.
Fire Emblem is up in the $500 range.
Oh, geez.
Pokemon
Yeah.
Coliseum is like $200. We have
That's
a copy
crazy.
in our parents' house, and I'm like, we could be making so much money off of this.
That's how you
Like,
buy your new Switch.
Yeah, GameCube games are the hotness
And
right
feet
now.
pics.
And
Yeah.
also, I'm already starting to build the list outside of the games they've announced here of the games I really want to see here. Especially there was a lot of licensed stuff that I think we might actually see, especially because
It's funny you say that, Ryan, because Nagachaka did have a question that says, what was the highlight from the Direct, and why was it the announcement of games from Nintendo's greatest console of all time, the GameCube, coming to Switch 2 through the NSO expansion pack? Also, which GameCube games do we want to see on the service, and why are they Eternal Darkness, Sanity's Requiem, and Metal Gear Solid Twin Snakes?
they're not. It's Ribbit King.
they're not. It's Geist. That's what we need.
Oh,
No.
hell yeah. Guys, with MouseCon, let's
yeah,
go.
or Seth, hear me out. Piano 3.
Okay,
No.
yeah. I'd be into
Piano?
that.
Piano, product number
Piano.
3.
Play the piano, number 3. They made 3 of those?
No, but seriously, if there's any justice in this world, we will get Simpsons Hit and Run on
Okay,
Oh,
also
so
would
sad.
slap. Okay, also, the controller, absolute need. I just need it. I love that it's wireless. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Just give it to me. I am just so happy Nintendo's just delivering all the good news.
Yep. I am
can't
day one on
wait.
my GameCube controller too.
Oh yeah, for sure. As somebody who uses a GameCube controller a lot still on my Switch, it is my primary controller for playing Super Monkey Ball still. And having a wireless official GameCube controller because one thing that's annoying, I literally keep this thing plugged in. It's so bulky to plug in the GameCube controller on your Switch. Also, if I want to go back to the home screen, I have to connect my Pro controller and use that to go back to the home screen.
Oh.
Having all of that just right here on this one GameCube controller, even removed from, playing the actual NSO games with the controller, I'm going to use this just for normal games. I just love
Literally,
this
that's what I
controller.
was thinking. I was like, oh, I'm just going to play forget the Pro controller. I'm just going to use this.
Yeah.
It's
Kind of like
great.
how I try to with the Sega Genesis USB controller that I use all the time for other games. But I will, since John's not here, I do want to point out one downside that comes along with this announcement.
Yes.
Because I had to bring that in the room a little bit. So, I was so excited to see Wind Waker here. I love Wind Waker. I think it's an amazing game. But as someone who plays with inverted controls only, like myself or Sean, that game famously in the GameCube version or even the Wii U version doesn't allow you to invert your controls. And this means that since we're not getting a remake of Wind Waker, we're getting it on NSO. It means we will probably never get a version of Wind Waker where you can invert your controls. And that
I
makes
don't
me very
understand
sad.
why you're so fixated on inverting the controls.
It's not that I want to. It's how my brain is programmed. I can't play with non-inverted controls.
Ryan
I don't
is
understand.
Ryan is a broken person, Amanda.
Now, they did
But
show
what is
this.
this?
So you can customize your controls, and I think that you may well be able to invert your controls this way.
See, that's what I was hoping for.
Yeah.
In the options there, but I don't. I think, from as far as I can tell, you can't change the right stick. But
Yeah.
we are also not.
Why do
seeing
you
the
want to
controls for
change
WiiWare.
the right stick? It wasn't built that way.
No, my brain is built that way. I need
All
to,
right,
know,
it's
there-
time
I
to
can't fix it.
reprogram.
No, this is what happens when I spent over like many thousands of hours of my life trying to be the best player in the world at Star Wars Jedi Knight on my PC using the page up and page down button to look up and down, which of course was reversed. So now just inverted, it will never be removed from my brain. I can't play games any other way.
On
Okay.
this screen, you can control the right. You can change the controls of the right stick on the Joy-Con.
Oh, there you go.
But I'm curious if you're going to be able to do the same thing on the actual GameCube controller.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hope so, because I think that Star says this is an accessibility issue. Completely agree. I think that should just be a standard practice for anything. Just at the system level, let anybody customize their controls however they want.
Yeah.
You know?
Because this was the era where just a lot of games were still trying to figure out this whole playing games in 3D space, and a lot of them just didn't think about adding accessibility controls to their games. So there's going to be Wind Waker isn't the only one that this is going to be an issue with down the road. So I really hope, to your point, Seth, I really hope that this is something you can do on the system level with some of these games.
Maybe it's because I've never inverted them. I didn't even know that was a fit. I don't know what it would do. I have no idea what would happen.
I think it really just depends on like how you kind of grew up playing games, because
Okay.
if you grew up playing a lot of like PC games like I did, a lot of times you did play with inverted controls. Oh. And it's very hard to break your brain out of it. Like it's not
for
it's
some
not something I
people.
can just turn off or anything. Like,
Interesting.
it would be like if your controls were reversed, Amanda, and you trying to adapt to them and be like, "Oh, yes, this is how I'm supposed to play games now." Like
So, whatever I would use for jump is in jump. Is that what you
Yes,
mean?
Exactly. Like, what if they made the jump button a completely different button, like the Y button instead of the A button or something? That's
Yeah,
Interesting.
for some people, like when it just doesn't feel right. When you're looking
okay.
around with a camera, it's like this doesn't feel right.
There's also a lot of people too, Seth, that's even more uncommon is the people needing to invert the horizontal axis.
Right.
As well. Like some people need for you to press left to actually look right, and vice versa.
Oh,
So
interesting.
yeah, I would like it if they just let anybody do whatever the hell they want. You know what I mean? Just do whatever you want.
Also, my favorite thing, just last thing, is going to press events and always being that person who always has to invert my controls. So then the next person after me starts
Has to
using
go
their
back.
controls, and they're like, "Why is everything backwards?" And they're like, "Oh, someone before me inverted their controls." I'm that.
So it's like when I changed my controls in Celeste on accident, and
Exactly.
I was
Exactly
like,
that.
"Whoa, new
Yeah.
world."
Well, the other thing that I'll say that is a little bit of a bummer with the GameCube thing versus, because I was kind of, I think a lot of people were kind of holding out hope that Wind Waker HD, Twilight Princess HD was just going to be ported over to Switch wholesale.
Yeah.
But now these things are coming to GameCube NSO, and it's not going to have a lot of the quality of life improvements that those versions of the game added. So I'm like, man,
Like that last mission in Wind Waker, Seth.
where you have to get all the
old
Triforce
version.
shards.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like now it's going to be just like it was back then, and that's fine, and it's still cool and exciting that they're doing it, but I can't help but be like, damn, I kind of wish we were getting that stuff in here. The fast sale that they had in that.
Yep.
But
Yeah, there were a lot of improvements in that Wii U version of that game. And then Twilight Princess, even more so, I think.
Yep.
We're going back to our roots.
Yep.
I'm still excited. I still think it's a really cool announcement, and it's going to be there on launch day with Switch 2, GameCube. Like when you get that thing home, you're going to be able to play GameCube games. Crazy.
And I would imagine, too, they'll probably roll out some of those first-party games pretty quickly, too. Like, it probably
bet.
won't be too long before we see Chibi Robo or Fire Emblem or Mario Sunshine or any number of games. Maybe even the original Kirby Air Ride at some point, even though they didn't announce it.
Maybe.
I paid the OG during Christmas time. I'm ready. Bring it back.
Maybe.
I've been... We're going to talk to that about it a bit, Amanda, but I've been
I mean-
wanting to play that game for like 2 years now. And I've never actually sat down to play it. And I'm like, well, now there's a new one. So I don't
You
know.
mean,
haven't
that-
lived.
That's as good a segue as any. I mean, let's talk a little bit about, because this was ultimately a teaser, but so there's not a whole lot to get into with the content of the teaser itself. But Amanda specifically has been begging for Kirby Air Ride 2, and so Like,
I just kind of knew. Like, it was like the first few seconds of like the start, and I was like, oh my God, no way.
I
No
thought it
way.
was
And then
Smash.
the minute the jet went on there, I was like, oh my God, the start, it's bad. Oh my God. I literally thought I was going to lose it. I never in a million years, my little brother and I were texting, never in a million years did either of us think it was ever going to come back. Like, I would have expected it was going to come into NSO. The fact that it was the last announcement of all games, to bring back in like redo and give another Kirby Air Ride 2, essentially. Like, are you kidding me? Oh my God, I get like emotional thinking about it because it's just like, oh my God, it was just like the game I can always go back to. It does not get old. During Christmas, that's all we did. We booted up the Wii and we were able to get it going. My brother did something to the Wii, I don't know what, and we could just sit there and play Kirby Air Ride. And I was like, man, I just wish they would bring it back. And I just could not. I thought the last announcement was going to be Animal Crossing. I honestly was like, yep, that's probably going to be it. Like Animal Crossing. And I was like, are you kidding me right now? Like, I could cry. So, very excited. So excited.
I'm excited for you. I like Kirby Air Ride. I've always been a fan of it, but I truly didn't think they were ever gonna, bring this little series back.
Never.
And that it's like Sakurai's directing it. Like, it's the next game that Sakurai's directing.
I think that's the only way this happens. I think Sakurai probably really fought for this game.
Oh my God, shout out to my guy. He just heard me. He was like, you know what we need to do? There's some random girl on the internet who just really wants Kirby Air Ride too, so let's make a new Kirby Air Ride.
Yep.
Which also gives me hope that it's going to be fantastic. I'm just like,
oh yeah,
I can't wait to see all the fun things that come to it. Oh my God, I'm getting like butterflies in my stomach. Oh,
we're going to do online city trials in this. It's going to be so good.
And it's out this year.
It's out
Yes.
this year. Yeah.
Oh my God, I'm going to faint. I can't wait.
Yeah. I think between this and Metroid Prime 4 are going to be like the two big, and Pokemon's EA, that's going to be their big like September, October, November games, like in that order.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Kirby Air Riders, they're calling it.
I know.
Yeah. It's like the hit
what about,
game Sonic Riders, but without Sonic.
That's true. It's just like Sonic Riders. This do anything for you, Locklith? Kirby Air Ride?
I never played the original Kirby Air Ride, but I'm excited to play this one.
Yeah. Yeah. Hopefully they bring it to GameCube NSO. I think that would make a lot of sense. I wonder how you feel about this, Ryan. I wonder if that's what they're going to do with Prime 2. If they're just going to put it on GameCube NSO.
That would make sense, but I don't know, though. I still think that, especially with what we saw with the mouse controls for Prime 4, that actually still gives me hope that they're doing the remasters of 2 and 3. Because that's the thing. They can do that with 2, but they can't just bring 3 to GameCube NSO. And that game is so reliant on motion controls anyways. Like, I actually think them bringing those games to, Switch 2 with the pointer controls actually, I think, makes more sense to me than them bringing them to NSO. So, I mean, while they could, in theory, bring Metroid Prime 2 to NSO, I think if they were going to, they would have announced it as part of that slate of games that was there. But because they didn't, that actually gives me pause and makes me think that they actually will. If any of those games are going to get the re-releases with mouse controls, I think it'll be those two games, 2 and 3.
Yeah.
Even if they just do the Pikmin 1 and 2 thing, where they just release them as is, but with the pointer controls, basically like bringing up the Wii
new play control.
Yes. Yeah. Exactly. Which also it would be interesting if they went back and patched Pikmin 1 and 2 with the,
I was thinking
pointer
that.
controls.
Yeah, actually.
Also, what I thought about GameCube, Pikmin 1 and 2, I was like,
yeah. I mean, you got them on Switch, with that stuff. You could do that. There's actually the last question we had is kind of tied to this, and I'm glad you brought that up, Ryan. Presto the Magnificent asked, what game do you want to see get an upgrade the most? And I'll be honest, Pikmin 4 was like the one that I was thinking of. I was like, man, I always wanted like more DLC for Pikmin 4, even if it was more Dandori battles or something like that. But I want to see that get updated with the mouse control. I think that'd be so good for Pikmin. I would love to see that game just like looking and running as good as it possibly can with mouse control. It'd be so sick. Any like Switch 1 games that y'all want to see get an upgrade?
I have recency bias from watching this presentation, Seth.
Okay.
Age of Calamity needs a Switch
True.
2 upgrade because that game barely runs on Switch 1. And it really needs a good frame rate boost. And maybe even some extra content.
That'd be
I'd
sick.
go back for that one. Especially with the new one, which we haven't touched on yet.
Yeah, well, we'll definitely talk about that. What about you guys? Locklith, what Switch 1 game do you want to see get a Switch 2 upgrade?
I feel like it'd be remiss if we didn't say Xenoblade.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, Xenoblade X is getting a free update on Switch 2, so that'll be cool. I mean, I wonder, I don't think they've said Animal Crossing will yet, but how sick would it be if, like, Animal Crossing got a free update for Switch 2?
That would be nice, but I want the new one too.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
maybe
you
you
know,
could walk
Seth,
around and-
if they did
yeah.
that, people would just complain that there wasn't new content.
That's true.
They always complain, Ryan.
That's true.
But I mean,
always complain.
imagine if you could play Animal Crossing New Horizons on Switch 2 and all of a sudden, like, it's not super laggy when you have, like, those very full
Oh yeah,
islands
the
and-
loading screens being shorter. That comment,
Right.
I thought of Animal Crossing, 100%.
Yeah.
That'd be nice.
would be
It'd be
nice.
cool. So, what do you think, Amanda? Any Switch 1 games you want to see get an upgrade?
Switch one.
Switch
Juan.
1?
I don't know.
Yeah.
No,
Well, there's a
I
lot
don't
that
know.
are. That's fine. Yeah,
There's too
there's
many.
a lot that are too. So there's a whole list of them that are. So that is cool to see. Well, Ryan, you brought up Hyrule Warriors, so let's talk about that real quick.
Also very
Yeah.
excited for this.
Age of Imprisonment coming this winter. Yeah, I'm down. Sounds great. Prequel story for Taki? Hell yeah.
And now that like I've beaten Taki for once, I'm like, oh my god, I want to go and play this now because now I know the story. I have the lore. I finally have the lore to something.
Yeah. I think it looks great. I'm super
Oh, it's
excited.
so good. Sonia, my baby girl. Love you.
Oh yeah. Yeah, well I'm sure you're gonna be able to play as Sonya and Rauru there, and just mow down hordes of enemies.
The battle mechanics looked really cool. Or just like the battle in general, like Zelda's abilities looked really sick.
Yeah. Did you
So-
play Age of Calamity, Amanda?
No,
Okay. Yeah.
Calamity.
Yeah, these are like this is a whole like genre of game called Musou games where the whole thing is like you're just mowing down all these enemies. It's like a whole thing. And yeah, like being able to play as Minoru is so cool with her like big robot and everything. Oh,
Bring
so
back
cool.
Daddy. Daddy, Mama's back. Can't wait to see you.
Yeah.
Or Daddy Ganon.
This is interesting. Like getting a little more because that's one thing that I will say about Taki. I feel like the other kind of like champions from the past, like the people like Minoru and like these other people, I feel like we didn't get a lot from them. Like we got like the little flashback memories, but I feel like we didn't actually learn all that much about them. So I think this is a really good opportunity for them to like expand upon these characters. And another thing that I'm curious about, because Age of Calamity, not to spoil too much, they position it as being like a prequel or like a canonized story tied into Breath of the Wild, and it really wasn't. It very clearly was not canon. It was like alternate timeline stuff.
Yeah, it was very different.
Yeah. And so I'm curious if they're doing that with this, or if they're gonna like actually make this like a canon prequel to Tears of the Kingdom. So, yeah, I'll be curious. Is this doing anything for y'all, Locklith or Ryan?
I haven't played Taki, so I don't have any of the lore. I don't know who any of these characters are. But at the same time, I like Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity, despite the fact that the frame rate sucks. So I'm actually really interested in playing this game. And especially because I my plan is I do want to play Taki after the Switch 2 comes out, since I won't be able to buy games still when the Switch 2 comes out, but I will be able to buy the console.
You
and
get
I
the
have
upgrade.
Taki. So there is an opening to play that before this comes out. So
And you'll have time. This isn't until winter, so you got time.
yeah, so I think that I'll be even more excited about it probably after I play Taki, but it looks pretty good. So I'm interested in playing it.
What do you think, Locklith? This doing anything for you?
I am excited. I shrieked when I saw this bit, just because you get to play
Okay.
as Zelda, you get to play as those characters, which I've only seen just a little bit of from what I have played in Totki. So I'm excited to play the upgraded version of Hotkey, and then come winter, be done with that so I could play this.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, now we just need to come up with an acronym for this game. Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment, like Hawaii.
Wow.
Wow.
Hawaii.
Wow.
It looks so good. I'm so high. For a second,
fun.
I was like, why are they just showing Taki again? And then when I saw all this other stuff, I was like, no way, there's another Zelda? Like, are you kidding me? I get to be stressed again? I can't wait.
Oh, no, these games are, like, not
Very
usually too
different.
difficult. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe that'll be good then.
It's
It'll,
a
like,
lot of
switch it up.
punching dudes in the face.
It's
Oh,
like-
beautiful.
it's a total like power fantasy thing.
Yeah.
It's like it's you and you're like OP just mowing down millions of like enemies. That's
Yeah.
what these games are.
You
all
eventually you will meet your match when you fight the bosses, but they're
Okay.
usually not very difficult.
So then is there like story, like will we have like the cutscenes and all
Oh,
that fill in blanks? Okay, all right, I'm sold.
Yeah.
Yes.
Let me in.
Yes. Big time. Well, this will probably be a quick little thing, but I'm curious what y'all think about this. This game, Drag and Drive, which is a first-party Nintendo game that is like they're kind of positioning this like the big like utilization of the mouse controls. And I gotta be honest, I think this is a really cool idea. Like this idea of using the two mouse controllers to move around. It's like, these people that are in these kind of like wheelchair things, and it's like a basketball, almost kind of has like a bit of a Rocket League kind of feel. And I like the idea a lot, but visually it's doing absolutely nothing for me.
Yep.
Like nothing.
The characters themselves kind of remind me of the Metroid Prime Federation Force,
Yeah.
mech dudes.
Just generic.
Very generic, yeah. That's the thing. I love the concept of this game. I think it's really unique and interesting. But I also am a little bit worried as to how this is actually going to play in practice. Like, I don't know how fun it's going to be to do this over and over again to you know, scroll your wheelchair with the two mice, especially if like one's like not very sensitive, like maybe you don't have like a really good surface for it or something like that. Like I'm worried that it might not pick up your cues in the right way, or the motion controls when you shoot the ball might be tough to get a little access to. So I'm interested. I'm curious in this game about this game, but I'm also not like overly hyped with already.
Yeah, me either. Like
it kind of reminds me of ARMS in a lot of ways, where I kind of had the same feeling going into ARMS.
Right. Well, and I love ARMS, but like that's the thing is like ARMS had the characters, the characters of ARMS were so cool and vibrant. Like if this just had like cool character designs and like a cool, even like the stage, like you look like you're in a weird like airplane hangar or something. Yeah. Like I don't know what I'm looking at here. It's doing absolutely nothing. And I hate saying that because I think it's a neat idea. And I also think that it's kind of cool, to have representation for people that do rely on wheelchairs and stuff. I think it's neat to have this kind of thing out there in like a big like first party Nintendo game. But again, it just doesn't have any personality for me. I don't know. How do y'all feel about this, Lachlan and Amanda?
I'd wish that like they did the Rocket League treatment, because they do when they do like the zoom ins, but it's like give us some cool courts to play on, because I think it's a really cool concept, and I think it would be a good intro for everyone to learn how to use the mouse like function of the Joy-Cons. And I also love that you could just wave. And he's like, hey,
I'm open.
But I do wish, like, give us some really cool courts. Like, take us on an adventure, But when I first saw it, I was like, oh, wait, this might be kind of sick. And then I was like, oh, it's just a gray court. Like, give me something cool. Like, I don't know. Give me that Rocket League treatment.
Yeah. What do you think, Lachlan?
I agree with Mitch about maybe some color.
A little color.
Yeah.
The Switch Sports, like how colorful the characters are. I know not everyone was super thrilled with like the Miis there, but like it's kind of dull.
Yeah. Maybe that's something we'll see more at Treehouse, because they'll probably be playing
so.
the game at Treehouse. So like maybe they'll show off some different courts or some different character skins or something like that. Like maybe they didn't show that in the trailer, but it also would seem weird to me that they would have all that stuff and not show that here. But
why did they all look like they're gonna go play paintball?
Yeah.
Yeah, they kind of do.
Wrong sport.
Yeah, so I don't know. We'll see. I will say too, another just quick mention here. they did spend some time talking about third-party games that are coming to Switch. So to switch to things like no, it's summer 2025 Star. So we do have it coming this summer. So we'll see. Maybe we'll get a release date for that soon too.
Yeah, it'll probably be like an August game at this point because you've got another big game in July. So that this is probably like an August game.
Right. Yeah. So some of the third-party stuff that is coming to Switch 2, this is the kind of stuff that, I was kind of expecting to see here. Things like Elden Ring are coming to Switch 2. Things like Cyberpunk, Final Fantasy VII Remake. Was there anything in that realm that excited you guys? Any of the like third-party stuff? Like, oh my God, it's coming to Switch 2.
Elden Ring scared me.
Yeah.
And I was like, nope, I still don't feel inspired to play. I feel terrified. Thank you for scaring me yet again.
I feel like this needs to become an extra life goal. Miles _ Amanda plays Elden Ring.
I'm gonna have like
Picking
nightmares.
up from the tradition of, it'll be picking up from the tradition from last year where Fulia and Matt played Elden Ring for the first time.
True.
And they became tarnished, all right.
I'm gonna have nightmares playing that thing. I said those creatures. Ugh.
Yeah.
I'm excited about it because I never got to spend that much time with Elden Ring because I don't get that much PlayStation time. So having it on my main console is exciting to me because I'm like, oh, cool. Like, finally, I have, like, the Switch fits into my life so much better. I'm going to finally be able to play Elden Ring seriously.
It'll be a good game to play portably, I think.
Yeah,
like Dark
I think
Souls
so,
Remastered
too.
was. But.
Me too, yeah. Well, and also, I was kind of hoping to see Baldur's Gate here.
Yeah.
I think that's coming. I do think that's going to come because I'm imagining playing Baldur's Gate with the mouse mode would be phenomenal.
Did they show it?
No.
No.
Oh, okay. I was like waiting for it.
I was
enough.
very surprised it wasn't here. Like, Garrett and I thought that was like the most locked in RPG.
Or like even like Call of Duty. I thought Call of Duty was coming.
Yeah.
I
think the timing is weird for Call of Duty because they're still waiting to announce this year's Call of Duty, and they probably just didn't go on and do that here.
I think this year's Call of Duty will be on Switch too, though.
Yeah, I think so too. It's just they usually announce Call of Duty at its own event.
Right.
And I think they're waiting for that.
But that's the thing too. I think this was actually one of my predictions. But like Call of Duty with MouseCon that's a big deal, dude. Like that's gonna be I think people are gonna start looking at even Fortnite.
They showed Fortnite. I was like,
yeah, that's gonna be coming. Playing that with mouse.
I was very surprised at how little shooters we saw here. Like I was expecting maybe we'd see Doom: The Dark Ages or other shooter ports coming to the console specifically because of the mouse controls.
Yep.
But we really didn't get that many.
Yep. Well, what about you, Lachlan? Any third-party games that excited you? Anything you were excited to see that was not from Nintendo specifically?
Reanimal.
Oh yeah, Reanimal's coming.
Reanimal, Hollow Knight, Silk Song, Star Seeker, Astroneer Expeditions.
They did show us a brief glimpse at Silk Song in this.
oh my God, in the sizzle reel.
Yep.
They're like, bloop.
Still no date.
No, but they said 2025, whereas Team Cherry hasn't come out and said 2025. So this is brand new information.
They're leaking it.
But
they said that too when Xbox said, "Oh yeah, it's coming out within 12 months," back in like 2022 or whatever.
One game I was very surprised to see here that it's actually coming out, and one that I freaked out about was actually something that Star Athena just put in the chat: Deltarune full version. Chapters 1 through 4, because this is something that's been in progress for a very, very long time. Like I can't even remember because I played Deltarune Chapter 1 when it first came out, but I can't even remember how long ago that was. That was at least like 5 or 6 or even 7 years ago. Yeah. And I really, really liked Chapter 1. So, and I was like, okay, I saw Chapter 2 had come out, but I was like, I'm gonna wait until it's all out at this point because of how much I like Chapter 1. And I didn't anticipate waiting this long for it, but it's finally coming, and it's coming launch day for Switch 2. Like, I cannot wait for Deltarune, because I love Undertale.
I do too.
Fantastic role-playing game. And Deltarune Chapter 1 was amazing, so I am so stoked for that full
Yes,
game.
Amanda.
Yes, Amanda.
Hero asked in the chat if they showed off any Minecraft. I don't remember seeing Minecraft.
Yeah, they didn't show it, but I imagine it will get a Switch 2 version at some point. Yeah.
With that movie coming out at some point.
Yeah.
That movie is coming out this week, and it got terrible
it's already
reviews.
this week.
Yeah.
IGN gave it a 1 out of 5.
Okay, yeah,
one
it kind of
the-
scares me a
Apparently
little
it's
bit.
So,
I'm worried about that movie. I can't go see that, but okay.
but Minecraft the game, good. Yes, it
Yeah. Yeah. Yes, Lockcliffe.
Can we mention Hogleg?
Yeah, Hogleg is coming. Yeah.
Yep.
Good old
sure is.
Hogleg. Project 007.
Yep.
That was
Well,
cool.
James
I was
Bond.
Made by IO Interactive, the Hitman people.
Although I was a little sad because what they showed was literally the announced trailer that they had for it, with nothing different.
Right.
So, and that was like 3 or 4 years ago when they first announced it.
Yeah.
Now, I have the first Hades game on Switch, so I'm excited to see Hades 2.
Me too. Yeah, I'm excited to play Hades 2 on Switch too, because it's been in early access or whatever since last year on Steam. I've been waiting for it to like fully come out.
Same.
Yep.
So
One third-party game that I expected to be here that I'm actually really excited to play on Switch because it seems like the perfect console to play this on, especially with the handheld capabilities, is Borderlands 4.
Yeah.
Because I like Borderlands, but it's also not the type of game I like to play in front of my TV, or it's a good like podcasting game. Like if I'm watching TV or listening to a podcast or something, having something on my big TV and having it in my hand seems like it's gonna be really could be a really good game for that. So I'm actually excited to like. That's where I'm gonna pick it up on Switch rather than pick it up on PlayStation, I think.
yeah, it's pretty cool they're doing that. It's cool to see like. Because I remember before the direct happened, a lot of like third parties didn't have software development kits and stuff like this. But it's cool that there are a lot of people that are like supporting this, right out the gate.
Yeah.
So yeah, very.
And
cool.
I mean, Street Fighter 6, I think is gonna be really good here too.
With new amiibo.
Yep, with new
That's
amiibo
wild.
of all things. Yep.
Yeah.
It was the only amiibo announced. I kind of expected us to get more amiibo.
Well, we got
So-
you got the Tears of the Kingdom amiibo afterwards.
Yes. After
Oh.
they didn't show it in the direct, but after the direct, they revealed that Tears of the Kingdom is getting new amiibo. So like Tulin's getting an amiibo, Unobo, Minoru, like the champions from Tears of the Kingdom are getting their own.
Like
Why
they want
did
to
they
have them
leave
out
that
for
out?
Hyrule Warriors, essentially.
Yeah.
Okay.
I guess just because I don't know if they just didn't have that stuff in place yet, but like it was revealed after
Okay.
the direct. So yeah.
You're right.
Yeah.
Well, let's hit. So we have two more, I think, major things to hit real quick. This was a huge surprise. The Duskbloods from FromSoft. FromSoft is making a Switch 2 exclusive, apparently multiplayer focused, like vampire Souls-like game, effectively. Crazy.
It looks real weird, and I'm really interested.
I hated every second of this. I was like, please don't end on this. I can't. I hate it.
I think I literally said, ill.
Well, so this is the interesting thing, right? Is when this started, the Bloodborne vibes are real, right? Like Bloodborne has that kind of gothic, Victorian kind of vibe. And the big thing that has always been the case with Bloodborne is, Sony helped fund the development of Bloodborne. They're like the publisher of Bloodborne. And a lot of people have wanted them to do something with Bloodborne, either a Bloodborne 2. There's been people, like, over on the PlayStation side of things, Ryan, you know this, people have been begging for Bloodborne on PlayStation 5. Like,
not even just that.
Just a port.
Not even just a port, literally a performance patch for the original version, so it runs at 30 frames per second consistently, or 60 frames per second, or to improve the 1.5 minute long load times for the game every time you die.
So, like, all of this, like to me, I have long sort of felt that Sony, like, kind of just doesn't care about Bloodborne, which I think is a mistake. And so it makes me wonder if FromSoft is like, hey, we want to make Bloodborne 2. We can't because we can't, Sony doesn't want to do it. So what if we just go to Nintendo and say, hey, do you guys want Bloodborne 2? Effectively. Like it's very different. I think tonally it's very different. This looks a lot sillier. We see this dude with like a jetpack. It's got some sting pump. There's a moment near the end of the trailer where you can turn into like a T-Rex.
Yep. And you're just eating dudes.
Yeah. So it's a lot goofier, I think, than Bloodborne. But like it still definitely has those vibes, and I think this is going to be a big deal for a lot of people.
Oh yeah. So. If you want a game that's a system seller, A From Software exclusive game on your console is a system seller.
Can I mention that I watched this trailer? I saw that and I was like, ew, it's a frog with teeth and titties.
I like this little character. I think this character's good.
Can I
like
have
it.
that in amiibo form, please? Thanks.
I hope so. I think they're going to do like a giant statue.
Amanda's not into it.
The
Amanda's
teeth.
not a
That
fan.
looks awful. Why would you want? Why would you want that?
But look how happy he is. Look
Teeth
at
and
that
titties?
Looks
smile.
like
Come
he's
on.
gonna eat me alive and push his titties in my face and just squash me.
Also, hear me out.
I mean,
Yep.
hear me out.
Luckless
That's
has exquisite
wild.
tastes.
That's wild. Well, the thing that we found out after the direct was over, Miyazaki, the director of the game, was talking about how this is very like a multiplayer, like you and your friends taking on the game together, which I think is kind of cool and interesting, especially since we have Elden Ring Night Rain coming out very soon, which is also kind of like that. It feels like with every FromSoft game, they're kind of like working in elements of the past one. So that's cool. This isn't coming out until 2026, but I do wonder if the characters that we're seeing in this trailer, I don't think these are like I don't think these are custom made player characters. I think you're playing as like characters.
Yeah.
I think you're playing as the Duskbloods, if that's like a clan
Well,
or
you're
whatever.
playing as that dude that was jumping off the roof, or that
Totally.
person that's sucking this person's blood. You're not
Totally.
playing as the weird dude in
Ryan,
the
please.
pajama clothes.
Please,
Everybody's freaking out.
please, Ryan, please.
I'm so confused
Yeah.
now.
I can't. New game, please. Oh god.
Like these characters, I think are like they are their own characters. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
You probably
I
make
think-
them yourself. You probably
it's
make them
really
really
cool.
ugly.
I think it's a neat, and again, this is like a Switch 2 exclusive, huge announcement. This boss is so cool looking and cool sounding. Like the voice acting for this boss was so sick.
Yeah. Also,
I'm
your
excited.
character has machine guns in this, which is interesting.
Mounts. Here's
Yeah.
the T-Rex. Turn into a T-Rex.
Just eat
So
foods.
cool.
I think I would be more inclined to play this before Elden Ring.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, we
for
can play it
sure.
together because it's multiplayer.
Oh, it is?
It is.
Yeah,
I
that's the
missed
big
that
thing with
part.
this. It's multiplayer. Yeah, that's the big kind of thing with this. I will say too, there's a little character they show at the end here. I don't know what they're trying to imply with this, but I really like this little guy a lot. This like
He's
winged
adorable.
rat guy.
It reminds me of Nim, you know?
Secret of Nim.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Totally. Yeah. I don't know. I like that little dude a lot. So, anyway, it's coming 2026. I'm excited about it. So,
You know what, Seth? I'm going to get on board that train with you. I'm excited about that too.
let's go. We'll play it together.
I'm here for the
Play it
frog.
together. Okay. Last game of the direct to cover here. Indeed, the final, like the big final thing. And I think coming into this direct, a lot of people were kind of expecting, like, are they going to show 3D Mario? It's been like 8 years since Mario Odyssey. So what are they going to show here? And it's not a 3D Mario that they have coming out here. It's a 3D Donkey Kong game.
Yep.
Donkey Kong Bananza. How's everybody feeling about this?
I'm hyped. It looks cool.
Yes.
I wasn't a big fan of the Donkey Kong games. Like, I've never really got into it. Like, I don't care about spelling out Kong. Like, I couldn't care less.
But those yellow letters.
Yeah, they could just take a hike, Ryan. So I wasn't ever excited about Donkey Kong in the past. But this being very Mario Odyssey-esque,
Very.
him looking like the Mario movie Donkey Kong
Yes.
as well.
I love the design. Love it.
It's also the same design for Donkey Kong that we saw in Mario Kart World as well. Like they're kind of
Yeah,
like
like this
unifying.
is-
This is his new look. Across
This
all
is the
games.
new look for Donkey Kong. Also, he's in Mario cosplay right now.
He is.
Yeah.
Red hat, blue overalls. Like, yeah.
Maybe Mario turned into Donkey Kong.
Yeah,
He looks
maybe.
like that.
Yeah. Yeah, I think this looks amazing. And this is so clearly, like, I know this has not been confirmed yet, but to me this is so clearly the new game from the Mario Odyssey team. Like,
100%. That's what I was
Yeah.
going to say. Is I think this is a sign that the new 3D Mario game ain't coming anytime soon. It is.
I don't think so
much
either.
further
I
away
think
than
this
you
is like this is your 3D Mario. This is as close as you're going to get for a little while, I think. And it's possible that they've had this because this is coming soon. This is coming like a month and change. It's coming, I think, July 17th.
Yep.
Just
week
a month and
before
change.
The game of the year, no sleep for Kaname Dante, the AI of the Somnium Files game.
There you go, Jace. Yeah. That was for Jace.
To be fair, I love AI of the Somnium Files, so I can't wait for that game. But,
Seth, what was that game that you played? It was an indie game, and you mine into like the world, and you come back out, and
Pepper Grinder?
I can't think of it.
You mine into the world and you come back out. It could be Pepper Grinder.
That sounds like Pepper Grinder.
Yes,
to me.
Pepper Grinder. Like I thought of
Yeah.
that game when I was watching this.
You know what I thought of when watching this, and Seth probably will understand this reference. Red Faction Gorilla.
Yeah,
this game is
totally.
basically just Red Faction Gorilla, but with an actual gorilla in it.
It is literally Red Faction Gorilla.
Yes, like with the
That's
title.
amazing.
But interestingly enough, you know, I'm kind of like Luckleth, where I've also never been a big fan of DK. He's not my favorite character, especially like the Donkey Kong Country games are fine. Like I like those, but like I never liked Donkey Kong 64 or a lot of other Donkey Kong games in general. But there's something about this one that looks really fun to me. And I can't wait to just burrow through the world and just smash everything. And it'll feel like Hulk Ultimate Destruction in all the right ways. Like, I'm actually pretty excited for this game, too, despite the fact that I don't really like Donkey Kong as a character.
I think this is. I think that this is what Donkey Kong needed. Like they couldn't have. I love stuff like Tropical Freeze. Don't get me wrong. Donkey Kong Country Returns HD just came out. That's all great. Donkey Kong needed like a total reboot like this, where it's like this is like new era, new design, switch to completely new gameplay style. Like, yeah, all of the destructibility in the environments, the way that Donkey Kong just kind of like charges through, climb anything, you're rolling around. Like, I just think this
he
looks
moves
so
fun.
fun.
Fast, Seth. That's the thing. He's a big monkey, but he moves around the environment so quickly as well. Like traversal looks like it's gonna be super fun. Like, kind of reminds me of Spider-Man in a way. It's like how fast he's moving around.
Yeah, I'm very excited about this. Amanda, where are you at? Are you hyped for some Donkey Kong Bananza?
Not really. I've never really been a Donkey Kong fan. So I don't know. This was like, oh, it looks great. Like, I think it looks cool. But would I play it? Probably not. I don't know.
Yeah. Sure. Yeah.
Like,
well, I actually like this scene here. They briefly showed that side-scrolling section where, like, even the background looks like Donkey Kong Country, like the classic, you know?
Which means there are going to be some classic Kong letters in that level, too.
There you go. Lockleth. Classic.
Couldn't care less.
I love how expressive DK is. This scene where DK gets this big banana gem and he's got like his tongue sticking out, like
The expressions are really good. They made
who's
me
that
laugh.
little thing? Who's that little rock
we don't
guy?
know.
They're gonna be friends.
There's a lot of like gem, like kind of like gem seems to be a big thing in this, like rocks and stuff.
Weren't they in Odyssey too, though?
I guess a little bit, yeah. Yeah.
But this also shows to be like, I think there's going to be there's room for some really funny cutscenes, like with some good humor here. So I'm really interested to see where they go with that. Because of course it's Donkey Kong. They're not going to do like a super serious story or anything like that. But I think there's room for some like comedy between some of the levels.
I love the bosses. Like seeing these little mini bosses, like this little like anglerfish boss that's like made of gems. There's this scene that's coming up here where Donkey Kong's like fighting against this large boss and he's kind of like dashing out of the way. Like this is gonna have like proper like punching combat and stuff. Like, yes. Love it.
It'll probably be more nuanced than some of the punches and kicks you do in something like Mario Odyssey.
This dude right here, look at that guy.
Yeah.
This big orangutan
He's such
guy.
a small hat.
A little tiny hat. Look at him. I like him a lot. And then like we have these kind of bosses here. This I think is like the big bad. His name I guess is Void something because I see Void all over the place. And he's got like this little V like on his eyebrows are like a V. And then
there was a pretty lady.
Yes, we have like you know, monkey Bayonetta here essentially.
You got to throw in a snack somewhere.
Yeah, I like her character design a lot. Like, look at her. Like, she's got the golden glasses and lipstick, and I don't know, man. I'm pretty excited for this, and I love that it's coming out like soon. Because the thing with Mario Odyssey, The Switch came out in March, and Mario Odyssey wasn't until October. Like, we had to wait a little while. This, we're only having to wait like a month, and we'll be playing this new Donkey Kong game. It's awesome.
Yep.
Hell yeah.
It's going to be a good 2 weeks between this and no sleep for Kaname Date. It's going to be good. Let me tell you what.
Yeah. Okay. Well, is there anything else that y'all want to make sure that we hit on or talk about before we wrap up here? We've talked about a lot tonight. Anything we missed? Speak now, forever hold your peace.
All I get the sense from, though, is we're all pretty hyped about this. Like, I was worried that we, after seeing some of some of the people that were, a little less hyped after all the pricing and stuff came out. Like, I'm glad that we, focused on the positive, and we all seem like we're pretty excited about this, because even if we're not all day one on the Switch too, it sounds like it's going to be a great console with a ton of cool games to look forward to. And
I'm excited. Yeah, I'm excited. And to me, like, it's the sense that I got from this with stuff like Donkey Kong and Mario Kart, these big flagship games. Again, it's exciting to me that they're not just resting on their laurels. That like Switch 2 actually is doing some cool, unique things, and like third-party games here at launch are like actually shaking things up. Mario Kart, big shakeup. Donkey Kong, massive shakeup. And like that makes me very happy. And like I completely understand the trepidation about the pricing and stuff. I get it. I'm with y'all. I'm not looking forward to paying for all this, but look, I'm excited for the games, and I'm excited for the system.
Even Kirby's Air Ride as well. Like, I'm expecting that to not just be a standard kart racing game either. I feel like with Sakurai in the director's chair, I feel like they're going to go in some interesting directions with that game too. So I can't wait to see more of that game too.
Yep. Can't wait. I'm excited. Lachlan, Amanda, any closing thoughts on this direct?
No, I'm just excited. I haven't been excited for a console in a long time. So I say that because, like, obviously the Switch was like a big deal, but I was late to the Switch. So I'm very excited. I hope I can get a pre-order and get some Mario Kart. And then we...
Oh, did we lose
She
Amanda?
was excited.
She was so excited that Nintendo had to come and cut her off.
Well, I mean, it's
Oh,
just
no,
like
what
with
happened?
She's back.
Yeah.
Was it me? Is it... I'm just ready.
You just froze for a second.
It was
Hey,
just like
stunning.
the Nintendo. It was just like the direct today that we all watched, where the stream died halfway through. We
That
didn't
was
mention that
wild.
because there were like 2 million people watching it today.
Yeah, their stream did completely screw up in the middle of it. That was funny.
Blew up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think y'all didn't get to see, because I watched it when I got home from work, so I didn't get the freeze. But I don't think y'all got to see like the Starseeker Astroneer expeditions, because I thought that was really cool. But I think that was during that freeze point for
It
you.
was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it looked really cool.
It does look cool. I went back and watched it after. It does look good. Yeah.
Same. I was like, as soon as they uploaded the 4K version of the non-stream version, I'm like, yes, I'm going to go watch that. And it was great.
Yeah. Very good. Well, yeah, I'm excited. That it's a new era, everybody. And I'm excited to play these games. I'm excited to talk about them with y'all. I'm excited to play Mario Kart with everybody. Like, you just know, like, we're going to do a big, like, carpool gaming, community gaming thing with Mario Kart when that thing comes out.
Yeah.
It's going to be
24 players, man.
Be there,
Yes.
June 5th, all of us.
We all got to take the day off work. We all
Taking
gotta
it off.
Just do nothing but play Mario Kart together all day.
All of us that can get them anyways. I hope many.
Oh, yeah.
Honestly, I'm really hopeful that that a lot of us are able to get these
With our cameras attached.
Yes, of course. In fact, I'm glad that Nintendo's even doing kind of the direct method this time around, because I think that really will help, get more of these out to people that are not scalpers. So.
Yeah, I hope so too. Cool. Very good. Well, that has been our very brief thoughts on the Nintendo Direct today, and this jam-packed, extra stuffed edition of the Nintendo Drive. Before I thank the patrons and send everybody on their merry way, Lachlan, do we have a physical? Anybody got a physical tonight?
My
Let's go.
physical for the evening is my snack after we end the stream.
Oh, hell yeah. There you go.
It's a
Little
chocolate
chocolatey
drizzle,
drizzle.
Rice Krispie treat.
My physical is this Paper Mario drawing
Oh, let's
on a
go.
paper that Fulia gave me at Extra Life that has been sitting on my desk for a while.
I still have mine too, Ryan. I need to frame it.
I also
Yeah?
have
frame your
this
paper.
JB thing on my desk too.
There you
JB
go.
Single.
I have a
love that.
Luna as well.
Luna's your physical.
She is. Look at her. It's like she knows. Perfect
I love it.
positioning.
Well, before we wrap up here, Ryan, where can people find you on the internet, my friend?
Yes, you can find me in the Discordia at Ryan Turford in the Discord. Of course, the Carpool Gaming Discord. By the way, folks, if you haven't joined the Carpool Gaming Discord, it's free to join. The link's in the description of this podcast. So make sure to go check that out. I'm also over on backlog.com, where if you, dear listeners, would like to go check out random reviews of games that I've been playing, because apparently I've beaten 24 games this year.
Let's go.
And I write reviews for all of them, including, if you want to see my review of Clive Barker's Jericho, I wrote that over there. So make sure to go check that out. Or Super Mario Brothers Advance 4, Super Mario Brothers 3, where I played all 147 e-reader levels and wrote a review about them.
Let's go. I love it. Okay. Amanda, where can people... Oh, actually, I should say, before you, Amanda, also find Ryan on the PlayStation Drive and the RPG Cave here on the Carpool Gaming Network.
I keep forgetting on other Carpool Gaming podcasts.
Yeah, that's right.
He just forgets where he is all the time. It's fine.
Just like
You're
Eric
doing great,
Lindros.
Ryan.
Just like
yeah.
Eric Lindros.
Sure.
Indeed.
Sure.
Amanda, where can people find you, my friend?
For the next 2 weeks, you can find me at twitch.tv/miles_of_Amanda before I ship off to London, the real London. I'm also on Instagram and Blue Sky and YouTube. I'm all over the place. Come hang out. You got 2 weeks and then I'm gone. So, well, only gone temporarily, but.
Damn.
So come hang out.
You'll be on a crusade to find London drugs in London.
Oh my, maybe. We'll see.
I love it. Locklith, how about you, my friend?
Y'all can find me here on the Nintendo Drive. You can find me on YouTube at Locklith. You can find me here as well on the Xbox Drive on Friday Eve.
Let's go.
I'm going to be guesting on there again for a second week in a row. Yes, I hope y'all aren't tired of me, because I'm going to be there yet again to yell at Mitch live and to have fun with my mom, Bowser.
Very nice.
I love it. I love it. Well, as for me, you can find me at $2 Hero on Blue Sky. You can add me on your Nintendo Switch at SW411280613454, of course, just like Eric Lindros, and I would be happy to add you over there. And yeah, before we wrap up here, I would love to thank our patrons, the wonderful friends and supporters at patreon.com/carpoolgaming. Thank you so much to everybody who supports us over there. Thank you to our ultimate producers like Jonathan Brown, Yabe, whose music can be found at linktree/pme.jib, Quaggy, who reminds you that the best babes are Xenobabes, and Technical Michael, who says whether you're Kevesi or Agnian, you're a Xenobabe at heart. We've got links in the show notes. Thank you so much to our patrons, our ultimate producers. Thank you to our platinum producers, Smokin Joe, the Captain, and Tim Paullin. And thank you to our gold members, Adam K, Anna, Awesome Dave 1337, Brad Moore, Brian Reese, Cecily Carrozza, Dan and Luma, Dannohh, Emily O'Kelly, Jan32, Ligerwoods 330, Mr. Giggles, OldMrFrump, Patrice Mallette, Peje EP, Riley King, Solo, Stephen Keller, and Toxic. Thank you all so much. We appreciate your continued love and support. You get a 7-day free trial at patreon.com/carpoolgaming. Check it out. We'll see you there. Locklith, do you want to close us out with a question, an engagement question for the commenters?
Sure. Thank you all for hanging out with us for today's episode of the Nintendo Drive. Bump that like button if you haven't already. And fuel this carpool in the comments below with your wildest hear me out character from the direct today. Let us know. I'm curious, are you also a fan of the frog with the teeth and the titties? I want to know. Let us know
feel
in
like
the
there's only
comments
one
below.
answer.
There's only
I
one
feel like
answer,
there's several, Ryan. I was also, peeping at that Donkey Kong, He's got that belly button. Love to see it.
Actually, yeah. Now that you say that.
Didn't have one in the Mario movie, fun fact, but he
Not
did in the
belly
game.
Button.
Yeah.
Damn.
There you go. Let us know. I'm very curious. I'm curious. That's it.
Okay, bye.
Bye. Thanks so much for tuning in to this week's episode of the Nintendo Drive. Now, before you drive off, Be sure to like and subscribe on YouTube and follow us at Carpool Gaming on socials. Don't forget to check out our awesome Nintendo Drive merch on carpoolgaming.com, and you can also support the show on Patreon at patreon.com/carpoolgaming, where you'll unlock all sorts of exclusive content like the Nintendo Drive Post Show. Links to everything are in the description. See you next week!
D